The growing calls across the nation to defund the police.
To end policing as we know it.
Off the charts violence in New York City. 11 people shot in just 8 hours on Sunday.
This is about the police officers who every single day put on that uniform and they run towards danger when we run away from it.
Oh, guns up for the 100th time.
Giddy up. Welcome to the Night Shift show of the Failure to Stop podcast, baby. It's Night Shift, and you know what that means. It's anything goes, but this is the 100th episode celebration, which means...
Celebrate good times. Come on. Celebrate.
Also, well...
That made me so irrationally angry right now.
Irrationally angry.
He's like, all right, well...
All right, so you stumbled into the Failure to Stop podcast. We are the number one show where law enforcement meets culture. We have multiple show styles, and this one is holy crap.
You're going to make me cuss. Let's fucking go.
Dude, Craig Dulesky with the super chat of all super chats of all time.
Everybody
just stopped in their tracks.
People are like using the Lord's name in vain. They're like, Jesus Christ.
Craig loves nudity. All right, so this is the Failure to Stop podcast. My flow is all
somebody just dropped us
discombobulated.
a $200 super chat for the listeners.
Yeah, on YouTube, it's super chat.
Happy birthday to us.
Donate to the show, so thank you so much.
Rich.
This show, we have 5 episodes a week now. 5, guys. 5. Monday is Off the Cuff. That's me and Dave and the underpaid producer talking about law enforcement related news. Tuesday nights. No, wait. Tuesday days is The Disruptors. BC Sanders and Ski they just launched their first episode today and they killed it. They're naturals behind the mic and they are going to be bringing the thunder on Tuesdays during the day. Tuesday nights live is this show, Night Shift, on the YouTube channel. Audio comes out Wednesdays. It's anything goes. It's whatever we want to talk about. That is something that we feel like cops would love to listen to while they're burning time on a shift or would argue or laugh about or talk about on shift together. Holy shit!
Oh, David Irving coming in with a $300 super chat. What the fuck, man? We need to just say every episode is our 100th episode.
Why can't every episode be the 100th?
It's our 101th episode.
Yeah. All right.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Holy crap.
For people that have never heard the podcast before, they're going to be like
pants off
so confused as to what's going on. And that's okay because this episode is all about you guys. It's all about the loyal listeners and viewers, the Wolfpack. We're not here to try to get new numbers on YouTube or new listeners on podcasts. We're here to say thank you to you guys and have a blast tonight together to thank you guys for getting us this far in the podcast world and to just have a good time, answer a lot of your questions that you dropped on YouTube and the Discord, share some of our favorite moments. We're going to do that tonight. And then the other episode style is our flagship show. It's the most listened to show. It is critically acclaimed by no one, but it's still awesome. Our true crime podcast on Fridays. And we break down cases past, present. Last week, we talked about an officer serving 25 years for murder. You can go back and listen to yourself. Do you think it was right? Do you think it was wrong? You can judge for yourselves. And this Friday, I think we're talking about the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. We're covering a lot. If you want to support the show, my gosh, we're live and people are dropping these super chats. That's one way. But you can go to failuretostop.com. You can get yourself a t-shirt. I've got the In God We Trust, All Others Get Searched. Transy Skate Daddy here is wearing LeBron James Never Heard of Her. We released a Disruptors one. We've got more on the way. So thank you. You can support that way. YouTube membership with perks on the Discord channel, perks in the chat, all that stuff. Another super chat. Gosh, thank you so much. Heather Redden. Tansy, the run is great. The run? What?
I don't know what that means, but fucking I'll just... Oh, the rum.
Oh, the rum.
Rum is great, probably. Sense. Oh shit, Heather's got the old rum. By the way, Sacrificial, local town hype man is in the house tonight as one of our guests. He's actually here at the studio watching. Another one of my old supervisors is here for the 100th episode. Holy shit. Somebody just sent $139 super
That's
chat.
Canadian money. That's better than the US dollar.
Dude, I'm just going to walk out. I've already gotten paid tonight, so I'm done.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Fuck you, ghost bed. Deuces. Yeah. This is awesome.
All right.
Happy birthday to us.
Is that all the housekeeping stuff? Like everybody knows what the show is and what we're doing tonight and
Who cares? It's 100 episodes.
do we have any sponsors?
Who cares?
We don't
It's
need
not
you
us
anymore,
tonight.
Ghost Bed. We don't
We
need
got-
you. Look at the super chats. I'm burning my Ghost Bed. I lied about it the whole time. Just kidding. I actually really love it. we, love
That's
you,
coming in soon.
we love you, Ghost Bed. Yeah, the underpaid producer ordered his Ghost Bed, so he's gonna get that coming in soon. So you guys
I want to
better
make a
catch
whole
up.
review. I want to make
Good.
a video.
Good.
No alcohol Guinness, and you're going after the hard AF. You know it.
Daddy's always hard.
You-
Daddy's always hard. Man, did you ever think we'd be right here where we're at right now, Mike? 100 episodes in.
Honestly, yes.
Really?
Yeah, I did. Sarah, what are you? 99 cents? Is that a slap in the face? Is that like leaving a penny for a tip?
She's gonna make
for
a
the
Sarah's gonna
waiter-
make a YouTube
waitress?
video.
Ryan
it's gonna be
Abernathy,
like-
thank you.
Sarah's gonna make a YouTube video, and it's gonna be my biggest expenditure yet as an adult. I gave 99 cents to a podcast. Dear YouTube.
All right. Yes. Yeah, I thought
Dude, Ryan dropping $2. Thanks, Ryan. This is
I
a
did
weird
think
show.
I did think we would make it this far. Yes.
You did. You
I
thought
did.
we would go to 100 in 1 year?
Well, no, I assumed we would have 52 episodes.
Yeah.
I believed that the concept of the show and once we did the first probably 4 or 5 episodes, then I was like, I think this can work, right? Like I was unsure at the beginning, but
Yeah,
probably
when Ross told you that you were going to be paired up with a guy named Eric Tanzi, what was your thought there?
Well, it was a lot of trust in Ross because I was like, well, I mean, it's not like I didn't know anything about you. So
Yeah.
it was a quick, let's go watch back some Eric Tanzi footage on podcasts and see who I'm being partnered up with here.
Was it the Drinking Bros Sports podcast that you watched?
It was Tailgate Legends.
Okay.
That's where I
Yeah.
first went. Like, cause he said cause what happened was to me, I was getting really frustrated because, and we're going to bring Dave on in a little bit, but me and Dave had tried to podcast before we didn't try, we did. And I remember meeting Ross in person for the first time. And I had talked to Ross a couple times. And then I went on Drinking Bros for the first time. And I was there in studio with Officer Daniels. And so we're there. And I showed Ross these numbers on our podcast. And I was like, yeah, but we suck. And he's like, dude, this is amazing. And I'm like, yeah, but I ended the show because I didn't know what I was doing. We were clueless. And so then we did a history podcast and eventually
you were comparing the numbers to videos.
Well, I was comparing the numbers to videos because that's all I knew. And I called Ross in total frustration one day. I remember I was showing a house to someone, and I called Ross and I was like, I texted him like, Ross, do you got a second to talk? He's like, yeah, give me a buzz. So I called Ross and I was like, dude, help me out here. You're in this podcast world. You're a smarter dude than me when it comes to this whole industry. I really, really want a podcast, but I need help figuring out what the right way to do this is. And it was like he was waiting for my phone call, even though we had not been talking at all about a podcast. It was like he was waiting for it because he's like, dude, I have it. I have the show. And I'm like, you do? He's like, yep. And I'm going to pair you up with Eric Tanzi, and he's another former cop. Yeah, he's going to fit well with you. It's going to be great. And he's already on the network, and you guys are going to kill it. And I'm like, and I mean, this was like within 30 seconds of me like asking Ross, I'm like, okay.
What?
And he's like, yep, we'll bring you on the network. We're going to do this. And I'm like, okay. And so then I think from there, he was going to be meeting up with you for like, I don't know, Talladega or so. I don't know, whatever the crap you guys do with drinking Tailgate Legends, and you guys are doing whatever gay stuff you guys
crazy.
do. And then shortly thereafter, I think we had like a group phone call or something, and we were all like just chatting about the general concept. And I think we set a start date, and then we just went for it.
Yeah, it totally different for me though. That's not how that story went for me at all. It was much different. But
after you wiped your mouth and stood up in front of Ross.
But they were like, have you ever heard of Mike the Cop? And I was like, sure. And they're like, if we put you guys together, will you guys podcast? And I was like, probably not, because like I'm already doing Tailgate Legends, and Tailgate Legends is, taking up all my time. And, I've got the distillery, and I probably won't. They're like, well, don't worry about Tailgate Legends. Like, take a look at this contract. And I was like, wait a minute. I looked at it and I was like, that I'm not a real podcaster, and I was a mediocre at best cop, right? I was like, I don't know that I deserve this opportunity. They're like, it'll be fine. And I just remember when they reached out to you, like, I just thought, you must hate me, because you didn't really talk to me on the phone at all. Like, you didn't really. And then we didn't even talk until like maybe at 10 o'clock at night before our first show. And we talked for like 5 minutes. And only thing I remember that conversation was you said, I'm Big Spoon, you're Little Spoon. You'll figure it out.
I did not say that.
Yes, you did.
I did
yes, you
not.
Did. I got off the phone, asked my wife.
If I did, it was a total joke.
And I told my wife, I was like, well, he's Big Spoon, I'm Little Spoon. So
I did not say that.
Dude, my wife was right there on speakerphone. We both.
That's not something I would say.
This is
a lie.
Eric, I 100% believe you. 110%.
Dude, my wife was even like, he sounds kind of pompous. And I was like, he's a celebrity. I mean, it's just how these guys
I'm not
work.
a celebrity.
I was like, that's how these guys work, man. That's how they do it. Like, he's just fucking putting down his male dominance. I'm fine with that. I don't care. And then it was like the very first episode, I was so nervous, and I got on, and you were like, I had only talked to you for maybe like 6 minutes total. And we're doing this first show, and we're about to go live, and you're like, you all right? And I was like, I'm really nervous. And you're like, why? Like, because we're doing like a real big boy podcast, and it's our first one. You're like, oh, it'll be fine. And I was like,
I was encouraging.
I don't even know what we're talking about. Then you asked me really crazy questions, like right off the bat. I can't remember what they were, because that whole show was a blur. Do you remember what they were?
The one that really got me was about if you had to do a grinder profile.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the grinder profile thing. That was so yeah. And it was like, and then it was like you texted me after that show, but that was it. So I really didn't know if we did good or not. And then the next week we did a show, and then you called me after the show. And my wife and I were so excited that you called me, and she was like, Mike the Cub just called you after y'all just podcasted for like 2 hours. I was like, I know. And she was like, do I need to pinch you? And I was like, I think so. And it was pretty unbelievable. And it was just cool. And then like, still to this day, I get texts from you at like 7:30 in the morning while I'm in the shower. And I just tell them like,
what do you do with those texts?
My wife
showering.
I make my wife get out of the shower. What are you?
I'm showering too. What part are you on? The tape.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And it's
I'm
just
about ready to gooch it up myself.
It was just wild, man. It was wild to, like in January or February, whatever it was, when you were talking about like, let's do more shows a week. And I sat down at the table with my wife, and I was like, Mike wants to do more shows a week. And she was like, this is incredible. Like, oh my gosh, did you ever think this would happen? And I was like, God, I really honestly didn't. Still don't know. Of course, we had the hiccup with that first little publicist, and we had to get a new one. And, it wasn't always like smooth sailing for us, but
we pissed off a sponsor.
Yeah. Which dropped the whole network.
Subsequently, not because of us per se, but
kind of debatable.
I don't know.
I think it might have been.
I will never change, no matter who the sponsor is.
You know what drives me nuts is like going back and looking at the first like 10 to 15 episodes, they look so bad. Like it all.
Oh, they do.
It's horrible.
We just keep getting better, man.
I know, but it's just
So-
like I look at our current stuff. I'm like, man.
But
we've
I can
really
I
come a
can
long
promise
way
you
in a
that
year.
if I said I'm the big spoon, you're the little spoon, it was a complete joke. It was not a pissing contest, and it was not dominance.
Mhm.
'Cause that's just some shit
Okay.
that I would say.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Big Spoon. Yes. Big Spoon.
Okay. What was your what was your favorite episode?
Oh, what's been my favorite episode so far? That's tough. And it's tough because people are going to think that I'm saying this for selfish reasons, but I'm not. My favorite episode so far was the Blackjack story episode
God, that was
because you made me laugh so hard. Like I was laughing in tears. You made me laugh that episode so many
I
times.
didn't make anybody laugh. You're the
No,
one who was telling the
no,
story.
you
That shit
made
was
me-
hilarious.
You made me laugh so hard. And I think our first call-in show was really fun too. That's like probably number
The
2.
purple alien conversation when Eric called out that guy for living in a trailer park is the best moment
Dude,
of the whole
I
podcast.
I can pretty much tell a person lives in a trailer park from the first second they open their fucking mouth. Like that is just like one of these things where I'm like, yeah, you live in a trailer.
Or the
It's cool.
story of Eric going in the nail salon that I like did the
Oh, that's
little
right. I
edit
forgot
for.
that story. I never
Oh,
posted
yeah.
her
Man.
picture.
That was a good
I
a
never
good little
posted her
thing.
picture.
That's so funny. I forgot all about that story.
Yeah.
I really loved. I think it was the first episode. We did crazy rookie stories, and your rookie story about the lady on the front porch, the naked
Pooper.
lady or whatever. Did she have a
was nuts.
flagpole or something? What was the?
No, she was on a flag, twerking on a flag. Yeah, and
Yeah.
threw in shit.
So
They tried to
that's-
shit on me.
That
That was-
story was like I knew I knew you were good at telling stories then, and I was like, this is gonna work because he's making me laugh, and I love it. Eric's
think-
crusty penis story still makes me cry.
I think my favorite. Oh man, I don't know. Like my favorite episode. I don't know. Might have been the Derek Chauvin one, just because I feel like that was the first episode where you called me afterwards, and you were like, "Yeah, dude." I think you said something like, "Yeah, we're onto something here. Like, I think we need to do more of that." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever that was, let's do more of it." But like, I remember like my wife being really, really happy after that episode. And I think that's the episode where I gained my confidence, like where I was like, okay, Mike believes in this. Because at first, like I had no idea. Like I felt like maybe I was at that time I was getting so much hate mail from your fans. I didn't have one positive thing for that first like maybe 3 months.
It was
maybe
probably
2
Dave
months.
sending all of them.
I mean, dude, it was like one guy was like, I don't know who you are or who you think you are, but Mike made a name for himself and you're holding him, or you're bringing him down. And he put like some kind of Bible verse on there. That one was really bad.
God is on my side.
Somebody said something about like, like they should bring back Tales of Valor. Oh, by the way, those were shows before you came along, like just like really mean shit. And it just kept coming. And so there was like this big fear, but like with my wife and I, that like Mike is probably going to go to Drinking Bros and be like, look, dude, not anybody likes this guy. Can we bring on this Dave character? And I was like, and he's going to bring on this Dave, and that's fine. Like, I was like, let's just get ready for it. I was like, let's just get ready for it. This Dave dude is going to roll into my spot. And I'm pretty sure that's Mike's angle on this anyway, at that point, like for the first 2 months. And I think after the Derek Chauvin one, when you were like, yo, I think we're onto something, that's when I like stopped caring about your fans and just started just being like, whatever, fuck.
I don't remember I don't remember how the numbers worked out. I remember we did a no knock warrant episode and Breonna Taylor, and that was in person because I met you and Jimmy in person there. And like that was a point for me too. And like I definitely would probably say most people have the same experience of me as you do, which is that I'm not really quick. Like I'm cool with like being cool with everybody, like, but a lot of people's impression of me is that I'm a dick and I'm a standoffish, even though I actually like do care about a lot of things and a lot of people. But it's just I've been burned so many times in this industry by individuals, by businesses, promised empty things. Like, I've been burned so many times that it was almost like, this is kind of too good to be true, right? It's too good that a network would put a show together, hire us to be on here, and there's, and that this could work, or that, you could be someone that I actually get along with, all that stuff. And I think it was important for me to come down there, to hang out with you, spend time like in person, get to hear your story and meet your family, all that kind of stuff. And that for me, like, was right around the same time that those episodes were happening. So then it was like, all right, I can trust this dude,
That's so funny, because it's like, you were here. I was a nervous wreck the whole time you were here. Nothing was really going right on my end. So he just sent $100. I'll fucking take my shirt off for you, Craigers, if that's what you're asking. But that time that you were here, like, I wanted everything to be perfect. So I had set up to, like, for us to go to this studio that I had only been to like once. And you and I went there, and it was like in somebody's house or whatever. I don't know. Just like things weren't really going. And then we get done with that episode, and Evan Hafer calls you from Black Rifle. And you were just like, we're just sitting at the table, and you were talking about, like, Evan called you, and I just was like, oh my God, Evan Heifer from Black Rifle is calling him right now. Like, it's fucking nuts. And then of course we got to meet Joel Patrick, and then shortly
that was
thereafter,
a crazy twist of opportunity, wasn't it? Like,
yeah,
that it just happened to be he was there, and we were
then
there.
the Hodge twins came to my distillery like a week after that, and I was just
right.
Like, this is getting out of control. This is getting to be a lot of fun. But I just, like, the whole time I thought to myself, this has got to go away. Like, everybody's going to figure out that, well, I'm not a real podcaster, or they're going to get you like a good guest, like a good host, like Donut Operator or Brandon Tatum, or like any of these guys, Todd McComas or something. Like, I always just thought, probably all the way up until maybe January, like, I just, in my brain, I'd already just kind of accepted, okay, you're going to do this until the network finds somebody better. And then, like, around January, February, when you and I were like having real serious conversations, that's when I was like, no, you know what? I think I'm in. Like, I think Mike and I are like a team, and I don't think we're going to go away for a very long time. So I don't know. It made me feel really, I started getting a little bit more confidence in, like, in the whole January, February timeframe. And now I just 100 episodes in, I'm still just sitting here like, what the fuck, man? And then what was your worst? What was your worst episode?
Oh man, I don't know. Like, I definitely feel like my worst episode as far as how I felt afterwards was the granny's gruesome. I can't remember what we titled it, gruesome granny or whatever.
Damn, that show's crushing.
I know, but like, I just felt like I was terrible at telling that story.
No.
And I left that episode, closed the laptop up, wrapped the show up. I think I called you. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. Like, I just ruined that show. Like, I felt like I was just trash at telling that story.
I love that episode. My worst episode, the one that I hated the most, was the first BC Sanders one. I did the same thing. I shut my laptop. I called Jimmy, the overpaid producer, because I was in. Did
you do that one without me?
Yeah, you were sick. You had
Did
COVID.
I have COVID?
You had COVID.
I was dead.
I was in Wilmington. I forgot what I was doing. We were on a skateboarding trip or some bullshit. And it was the first episode that I was doing away from a studio. And you called in sick. I called BC Sanders because he was the only person I knew that was like halfway interesting in my life at the time. And I got him on. I had the worst.
Jimmy's sitting there going, "Thank you, I guess."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had like this bad background. The kids wouldn't shut the fuck up in the other room. The host that was hosting us, her name was Andrea. She was like trying to like throw me off my game the whole time. She was like walking in and like shaking her ass, or like, like putting up her hands and doing stuff. And my wife was coming in, and then
where was this? Where were you at?
We were at my wife, like our really good friend. Her name's Andrea. We were at her house in Wilmington on a skate trip. Like her kids and my kids skate together, but they were coming in like, and like turning around and like trying to like distract me and be funny. And I'm trying to be serious. I'm asking terrible questions to Sanders. And I just felt at the end of that episode, I was like, oh, well, I'm never doing an episode by myself again because that was fucking terrible. And then the numbers on that
You
show.
need that big spoon, baby.
I need that big spoon. But you know what? Like everybody loved BC and he saved the show. And then like now he's got a fucking show on our network. So it's so weird how like
Everybody took the BC right away, man. It was like huge. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And then so we added we started with the failure to stop, which really we were going to talk about like pop cases, but then we started like really getting into the breakdowns of cases and needed to create more space because we were just trying to cram. I don't know if I'm sure you guys remember, we've only been around a freaking not even a year, but you remember the Friday episodes where we would try to cover all the Wolfpack stuff with with the reviews. Then we tried to cover news. Then we tried to cover a case, and we tried to tell some stories, and we tried to have
I don't know what
pop culture reference.
man.
Dude, it was like it was just too much.
Even before the shows, Eric would get really frustrated because he's like, guys, we got to talk about what we're going to do because we had like 5 different things we had to keep.
We were trying to fit 5 shows into one, and now. So we started Night Shift to kind of relieve some of the pressure. And so James just dropped in a super chat. I want you guys to check out a Canadian cop podcaster, small following of a retired member. YouTube page is Clinton Jaws. I think you guys would get along. My favorite FTS episode is when the officer involved with Breonna Taylor. Oh, Sergeant Mattingly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sergeant Mattingly was a really good episode, which by the way, which was really funny. So there are 2 worst episodes number wise. Remember it was the guy from Live PD.
Sean Larkin.
Yeah, for some reason nobody that was
did good on YouTube.
Yeah, but it
on
did
our audio
terrible
downloads
on audio. I never knew why. But you know, now we don't ever have those conversations because everything just kind of now it's like we have like this average fan base. It just keeps growing and growing and growing. But it was funny. It's just really funny how far we've come in 100 episodes in less than a year. We took something that was supposed to be 1 day a week. We've turned it into 5 days a week. And
your wife says that she does think the shirt should come off, but she shouldn't have to pay for it.
Oh, that's a good man. Look at him go.
That's a good man.
Alabama Tansy's coming.
Hey, guys. I don't even know how he did that voice.
You'll hear it in a second.
Hey guys, welcome to Failure Stop episode 100. My name's Eric, and this is going to be a hoot and toot and really good time. Thank you guys for joining in. If you have any questions, we'll go ahead and take them at this time. Not all at once.
Alabama Tansy's in the house.
I'm so
rocking
tempted,
it.
I'm so tempted to turn on his web camera.
No, please.
You should have done it.
I'm gonna
aim
it. I'll aim it at the ceiling so you don't see my fat fucking stomach.
Oh my gosh.
I almost did it, but I'm not that mean.
All right. So we added more shows. We added Night Shift, and then we decided I had Dave, which a lot of people have been familiar with at this point. We had done the show Off the Cuff before, and then we had done one called Tales of Valor. Dave called because he was washed up from his police job and starting his new career as a security guard. And he said, Mike, I was doing my key rounds and I really think that I should podcast again. FTS. What is 100. Nice. So we relaunched Off the Cuff, and then what was the genesis of Last Call?
What? I was drawing a penis.
So I just told the story of why we ended up adding Off the Cuff.
I was sorry, drawing a penis.
I was drawing a penis on myself.
Sorry, guys. I was drawing a penis. What did you say? You look like my notebook from 5 years ago. All right. So I wanted to bring Off the Cuff back to do the news stuff, and then you decided to bring Last Call in. Why Last Call, and what was the idea behind it?
Sorry, I was writing I love Sarah on my chest. I think Last Call, to me, it's like one of those shows. I don't know if it'll stick around forever. But one of the things I thought was cops don't have anything to fucking talk about over the weekend. And now that I own a distillery, when all the cops come in, they talk about cop shit at my distillery because they're so far detached from reality. And it's not
I don't have
a bad
anything else to
thing.
talk about. Yeah.
They don't have anything else to talk about. And so I was literally sitting in my distillery at my bar, listening to them to have their own conversations amongst themselves. And I was like, dude, wouldn't it be cool if you could come up with a show that could give them bullet points on shit to talk about? Because nobody wants to listen to pop culture news. If you look at TMZ, if you watch Inside Edition or anything like that, like just the liberal spin on every article makes you want to blow your fucking brains out. And Fox News doesn't really have a pop culture segment. And I thought, like, what if I watched all
Tucker Carlson doesn't scream pop culture?
No. But I was like, what if I go through all the pop culture bullshit and then I put a cop spin on pop culture? And so, that's why we talk about, Britney Spears, maybe it's methamphetamine. And we talk about Elon Musk and we talk about space exploration stuff, like anything that's cool in the news that give you something to talk about at a barbecue. So you don't sound like a fucking douchebag all weekend. That was kind of the thought going into last call today. And it's fun. It's flirty, puts you in a fucking good mood, get you ready for the weekend, makes you want to get your drink on, makes you want to get hard AF.
The only show we've ever canceled on our little family of shows is mine, Mike on the Mic. It ended after like 2 brief episodes.
What? Oh, yeah.
I canceled myself.
You canceled yourself.
I sucked.
So that's because you had
Replace it with
Dave,
something way
which you
better.
should bring Dave in here because
Dave, get in here.
Dave was the one guy that was going to take it all from me. Look at me now, Dave. Look at me now.
That
Look
could
at
have been
me.
you, Dave.
You look,
Good
Dave. You
Lord.
look up and you just look at it. Take a
Good
minute.
Lord,
Take
hold
it
on.
all in.
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't want.
Wait, I'm going to write. I got to write.
I don't want
Craig.
that.
What's up, bitches?
Dave is in the house. I don't know. Is that an accurate story, Dave, of how Off the Cuff came to be reborn? Is you were bored on security work and decided you need meaning in your life again, or?
Yeah, no, I wasn't listening. I was on this couch.
You're on
that
the
you guys
casting
have in
couch.
the back, and
It turns
I
out there
didn't
is
know
no
you guys
job,
had
Dave.
that thing. That God, that was weird.
He's like, wow, I think it's really cool that you guys employ so many African American men that are really large.
What a ride! Am I right? God.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, good Lord. No, yeah, no, it's pretty accurate. I mean, there are other theories, but I think that one is the most spot on. So yeah, absolutely.
So I'm
Oh,
writing
like
everybody that's put in a super chat. I'm writing their names on my chest. So got Sarah, James, Craig.
I like it. I like it.
That's not how I pictured Dave. I can't even imagine.
I don't know what you would
expect.
have. I don't know what you would have pictured, but we'll see.
Maybe it was like I expected somebody in shape.
LeVar Burton is in the chat.
That's a black guy.
The Reading Rainbow.
As a black
Dude.
Eric has been invited on Reading Rainbow.
Listen, yeah,
Dude,
Eric
I
is
would
going
so-
on Reading Rainbow.
Dude, that would be a dream come true.
First of all,
When
we
Eric,
need.
when Eric took his shirt on and started drawing penises, he commented, well, "You could do this on Reading Rainbow."
Dude, I want a promotional material for this show because LeVar Burton endorses it. LeVar, give us your ringing endorsement of the Failure to Stop podcast so that we can use it on promotional materials with your photo and name. It's the real LeVar Burton as far as I'm concerned.
Dude,
What if it is?
LeVar, if you put us a super chat right now, I'll write your name right here.
What if that's the guy? Was it Geordie LaForge
Yeah.
on the Star
Jody.
Trek? Is that
Was it
what?
Jody?
Is that Geordie?
Jordy.
Either way, Dave's the sci-fi nerd.
I don't know. I don't watch Star Trek.
Why not?
I like I just said that as if I'm not a complete nerd in every other fucking
You
way.
play Dungeons
Like-
and Dragons,
I
bro.
know, and I'm the guy shitting all over Star Trek right now. What's wrong with me?
You're like, Star Trek is so gay.
Idiots.
Dave, what did you think when you saw Mike and I were doing a show? Were you like, yeah, this bitch Eric ain't gonna last long, I'm coming in?
No. I mean,
This will be like seconds.
honestly, I did like I normally do. I masturbated first
Okay. Well, I mean, you always gotta clear your
Yeah.
mind.
because
Not my
I
proudest
needed to
fap.
be I need to be in the moment. So, no, I mean, I didn't really think much about it because Mike and I had done some podcasts before, but
thanks, LeVar.
That is so good. But yeah, no, I didn't really think much about it because Mike and I hadn't done much. I mean, we both agreed, despite what the rumors may have been about a love triangle. We just kind of didn't have the time because our last podcast we were doing was Tales of Valor, and that took up such an immense amount of time, and we both tried to stagger that. So we just kind of figured, we just had to go our separate ways in that and just stop podcasting. We did actually talk about bringing Off the Cuff back at one point and did a couple more pilot episodes that never really did any. We didn't put them out. Mike was just kind of not feeling it. So no, it's true. Ask UPP. You just weren't feeling it. And
every time
Big Spoon's got to be in the mood, baby.
Literally every time Dave and I saw each other in person at a get together or an event, we just complained about Mike.
We just bitch about him.
Big Spoon.
It's like, what is wrong with that guy? He sucks.
Yeah. So no, but yeah, I mean, I was glad Mike was doing podcasts again. So I mean, you guys.
Dude,
are,
I mean, did you
amazing.
know? I mean, did you ever go back and look at some of our original reviews where people just hail you? You were probably in our first,
you wrote them.
You were in our first 50 reviews. They're like, great show. Mike is awesome. Bring back Dave. And I'm like, cool.
I just love how brutal people
awesome.
can be. They just don't give anybody a chance. It's just, the thing was we had been doing a podcast before that. We just had been doing it for a little while, and that's all that was. So that cleared up pretty quick. I got the message received. I stopped fucking putting the reviews in.
What's Jeremy's review while I'm thinking about it? Because this one is directed at Dave. I don't have it ready. I'll pull it up. Hold on a second.
Now, Dave, I don't know how much when you got the call from Mike to come on and start doing Mike on the Mic Monday. I think you guys, Off the Cuff, you guys have been doing 4 or 5 now, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Were you pumped to be back? Was it like the Mighty Ducks when they had the quack? The quack attack is back, baby.
It was actually. I thought about it. I was looking forward to it because it was, I know this is going to sound so stupid, but it was way fucking less work, right? Again, Tales of Valor, I think it really smoked both of us. What are you doing?
Somebody asked for a monocle.
He's whoring his body out for super chats.
They're also asking for a mustache.
Oh, that reminds me of the Monopoly guy story that I need somebody to tell again.
Oh, that's a good one, my friend.
Oh, dude, we got to bring that.
What
one
if
back.
the Golden Nugget came on, was like, hey, if you get this, he has to start putting Golden Nugget on there for fucking $10,000. But no, I was glad to be called back. Because it was less work. I know that sounds really dumb, but dude, I was smoked after that podcast. Tales of Valor was just so
that was a lot of work doing that.
It was
for sure.
It was a lot of fun. It was very rewarding, but we both had day jobs. You know what I mean? So you can't just fucking.
I think one of the big motivators too for stopping Failure to Stop originally was that I got a full-time job.
Stopping Failure to Stop.
Not Failure to Stop. Off the Cuff.
I was like, wait, is this? Are you breaking news to me?
No.
Did Ross call you?
When we stopped Off the Cuff originally, I got a big boy job.
Yeah, you did.
The first time. Yep. And I was like, this is a lot of extra work. And
yeah, it was too.
I'm not getting paid for this.
Right. Yeah. So that's another fact. There was we were broke
at the time. At the time there was no monetization in podcasting like that. So yeah. So it just kind of all fell into place. I enjoyed doing it. Mike hates waking up in the fucking morning.
Yeah, we record on Saturdays, which is super dumb.
God dang it, here we go again.
It's gayer than LeVar Burton sitting and spinning on a pop-up reading Rainbow Book.
LeVar Burton is in our chat right now.
Sorry, dude. Sorry, LeVar.
Dude, if LeVar could be on this show, if it was the real LeVar Burton, he'd be on the show in a fucking heartbeat.
It's gayer than George Michael and Liberace dancing on a piano.
Dude, was LeVar Burton gay?
In real life? Maybe. Is he dead? Did he die of AIDS with
What?
What?
Why would he have died? Why are you making assumptions, man?
If you're gay, you have AIDS. Isn't that the way it works?
Well, it's so dumb. The laughing in the back. Oh my god!
All right, I got to read this review. Then we got to get to some listener questions because everybody submitted these questions, and we want to honor the Wolfpack. We've reminisced. This is from Jeremy. I always forget if it's Riger or Rieger. I should know this by now, all these years later. But he dropped this review. When the elves are gone. This is why Dave had to be here when we read this review. 5 stars. Many days I find myself about to hit someone in a wheelchair with my car as they're putting steak in their feeding tube due to the stress of my everyday life. I smile and wink at the picture of General Mantis on my dashboard as I rev the engine. Right as I'm about to make contact with the cripple, I realize that I'm not me when I'm tired. I call the diversity team. She advises that I need to get some rest. I drive home and I take a nap in my ghost bed. I wake up to Scott Rogers in my ear holes telling me that the Wolfpack needs to mobilize and help someone in need. So I grab my Rip Pack and my Blue Raspberry Hard AF Seltzer and beat feet to the car. On the way, I pass the UPP on the toilet. He blesses me and tells me to go in peace and not to eat nuts or seeds or I'll end up pooping my brains out like him. I grab a snack from Skate Daddy Transy and get in the car. Dave gives me an escort in his security car. Amber lights flash and sirens as we pass Mayor Lori Lightfoot shining Eric Carter's fake medals. I instantly get soft and my Loch Ness monster retracts into my body at the sight of Lori Lightfoot. She looks especially disgusting that day. I flip off the FedEx driver on the way there. We arrive at the site that Scott Rogers.
That's a deep.
That's a deep cut right there.
It is.
I flip off the FedEx driver on the way there. We arrive at the site that Scott Rogers gave us in an encoded message on hornyducks.com, only to find Officer Butthurt having the worst day of his life. What started with cat litter ended with cat litter. Please have him on the show to tell his story to Dave, Mike, Transy, Elijah, and Jimmy. It's what we've all been waiting for. Also, bring back the sound clips for the week in review and in the news.
That's good stuff.
Wow.
That was a reference
Deep
to
cut.
just about
Deep
everything
cut.
we've done.
Like 2017
Deep cuts.
references.
Wow.
Even.
Nice mustache. I woke up, looked up from the review, and Hitler is co-hosting the show.
I wrote
Yeah, you
down
may want to make
note.
that a little bit longer, at least with the outer
write-
lips area.
I write down clip notes, like show notes.
Yeah.
And I wrote 39 minutes. Eric whores out body.
Texas Wolfman says, this show is awesome. Dude, that's awesome. Thank you so much. All of the members that are in the chat, I see you in green. So thank you for being members and supporting what we're doing on YouTube. You guys are the best, man. Honestly.
Can't wait to get pulled over on my way home, like reeking of hard AF. And be like, officer, I'm not drunk. Why do we need to go through all this? And he's like, step on out, homeboy. And I'm like, come on. And then I get arrested, and this is how I go to jail. Here's my mugshot.
And you're still not wearing a shirt.
He pulled you over and you start
Last
writing-
name, Transy.
writing
First
his
name,
name on your
Alabama. All right, so let's hit some of these questions, and we'll just we'll take turns answering them, or we'll figure it out and go from there. Because you answer them on YouTube and Discord, and then man, we've already been going a while. We'll probably Instagram was messing up, so if you submitted questions on Instagram, we can't see them. I can see that they were submitted, but it's hard to like get all of the details of it because it's not showing up right. All right, first question:
UPP problem.
what were your routines before shift, driving to work and coming home? Did you guys ever have any things that you always did before shift, on the way after?
I always prayed, probably because my drive in was about 25 minutes. So I always like prayed for probably for like the first like 6 or 7 minutes. And then I put on Rob Bailey and the Hustle Standard on Pandora.
It's so hard to take him seriously. Monocle draw. Fucking killing me. I love it.
Fuck you,
Holy
Dave.
shit. Oh fuck. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I definitely had a routine. When I worked midnights, it was race to fucking work. Seriously, like I was the worst at leaving late, so that I got there like right on time. You know, I don't know. All you got to do is leave 5 minutes early. Like that's it. You could just enjoy your drive. Nope, Dave's got to do 90 every fucking day. I don't know why I always did it on midnights.
Dude, I had getting to work, especially when I work days, dude. I would be there. Roll call was at 7, and I was changed and out at 6:59. Like I didn't want to be sitting there, but I would sit in judgment of all the new guys that were showing up like too close to the beginning of roll call. I expected the new guys to be sitting there ready to go
20 minutes early.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
their hands
I
on their lap.
expected that. But as
See,
far
our
as
squad,
routines,
our squad worked out together, and if you didn't show up to the squad workout, then you were kind of shamed. So
I did that on midnights.
You didn't want to miss. Yeah, we did it day and night, so you didn't really want to miss. And then if you miss like 2 in a row, especially, they would do this like whole "we're not going to talk to you" type thing. Like it was really immature.
You were shunned.
But yeah, no, it was a
Like
big
the
deal, dude.
Amish.
My squad, like when I first got on, when I was like a rookie in my first maybe like 2 or 3 years, it was brutal going to work every day. Like I'm not gonna say like I hated the people I worked with, but it was like if you lost a foot chase, you can't go to the locker room. I mean, if you fuck up radio, you can't go to the locker room. Like it was tough, and they could just like boot you off the squad. They could like peer you off the squad. And our sergeant at the time was an old Army sergeant. And if you had a first class patch on or no patch on, you were like dead to him. Like you were going to go sit on traffic details. You were going to do anything that was shitty come up. If you didn't volunteer for it, you're fucked. So,
yeah.
So yeah, I was in the gym.
I didn't really have any other extended routine other than just making sure all my little weapons check. And then I had it in my locker.
Forgetting your firearms.
Yeah, I did that a few times. I had the General Mantis quote, "Be polite, be professional, but always have a plan to kill somebody." I had that on the inside of my locker, along with a picture of my family. And that was like, I would say like that quick, prayer about, hey, just give me the strength to do what I got to do when I got to do it. And that was it. Close the locker and get to work.
It's so weird. Your guys' prayers were different than mine. Mine was always, "Please God, take me now."
Yeah, I'd always say my prayers, and then I had a picture of I'm just kidding. I'm not even
Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah. I had a picture of Pam Anderson from Baywatch.
The critical Pope years.
I'd like kiss it.
Oh my gosh. So I guess that's our routine. My routine afterwards was just drink. That's about it. That's my after work routine. So all right, what do we got? What else we got here? I want to see Dave's nipples so bad, says Lastro Lopez. give him a little peek there. It's fine by me. I don't care. I've seen it. Dave's completely frozen. Oh, it's catching up. Now it fast forwards.
What were some of the questions we had on the Facebooks? I mean, on the Instagrammies.
We got 19 questions from YouTube and Discord.
LaVon Burton said he once asked Pam Anderson to read books on reading Rainbow. No fucking kid would hear that book.
Yeah, no.
They'd all be staring right at those fucking herpes infested boobs or hepatitis boobs.
Did either of y'all, Justin Sykes says, did either of y'all do any undercover work? If so, can you share any stories? I can tell you right now, I never did any undercover work.
Did a little bit. If undercover mean like plain clothes.
No, there's a difference to me. I did plain clothes stuff sometimes, but not undercover where I'm like trying to make people know that I'm not a cop.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I never did any like confidential buys, but I did a lot of plain clothes stuff.
Yeah, I did some plain clothes work, details and stuff.
Like I did like plain clothes stuff, like sitting in going to a construction site and like we'd talk to the foreman, let him know what was going to happen. And then I would dress up like as a construction guy and then go and sit inside the building that they were building and watch like a crackhead or like a crack dealer sell crack. Like that was probably one of my big, like undercover, I guess, if you want to call it that. I also was on a special project for about 9 months, and the special project, there was a lot of plain clothes, a lot of surveillance. So watching videos, we put up some pole cameras on some telephone poles and watched gas stations and these like really open air drug markets. And we would call in like uniform units to take them down. And then I also did a detail one time where we were going after a serial raper. And so I sat at a gas station for a few days in a undercover vehicle in plain clothes and just hung out at the local gas station for like 3 shifts, like 3 12-hour shifts, literally ate more Taco Bell because you couldn't leave the car and somebody had to bring you food or whatever. And to be funny, the squad mates just kept bringing Taco Bell.
Ugh. That's not good. Now they would have Mexican pizza to bring you. It's back.
Yes. Somebody says, does Transy have the name Craig written on him? Yes, because Craig gave me $200 to write my name on him. So why don't you quit being a peasant, Mr. Sincererdes fan? And,
Pony up, bitch.
Yeah, he gave me 300. Sorry. He gave me 300. I'll write his name on my dick. Fucking.
I'll tattoo it. Don't make promises you can't
This
keep.
ends badly.
Nova Logic says, do you know anyone that was caught watching porn while on duty?
Yes. I know two people who got caught looking at porn on duty. One, I have the
Caught
audio
by
to it on
whom?
my phone. So one, he was hot micing in his car, and I'll send you the audio.
Oh,
We
no
could probably
way.
play it because it's long enough now. And I think the person got terminated. I'm not sure what happened to the guy. He was a rookie, but he hot mic'd his mic, and he was sitting in. By the way, he was hiding in the back of the parking lot. This is where the story gets really funny. So there is the 911 dispatchers have their own building, and it's like a dead space. So because if you're so close to them, they don't actually see where your car is at. So they can't like give you priority calls because your car's not on the map. So they don't know where you're at. And so this dude was backed into that lot because that's what his GPS showed.
Right.
And he ended up hot micing. Well, because he was hot micing and everything else, and he was so close to the thing, they couldn't get him to stop. And it was literally hot micing him with like, yeah, daddy. And so they were like, 422, 422. 422, and they're like they hit the like emergency tone, so it just kept toning, but it would be like boo, boo, yeah, boo, daddy, boo. He like just kept
Makes it even worse.
So when they called him into internal affairs, I guess his excuse was, I was trying to change my tire. I had a flat. And I was grunting.
Good Lord.
So I'll send you that audio. We'll put it up. I
Knock
think
it
it'll be
off.
very fun for our 100th episode to put the audio up
Knock
Well,
it
of the hot
off.
mic.
I
Because
guess
some SWAT guy pulled
send
his
it.
phone out and recorded.
Well, somebody has it to send, and we can still get it before the end of the show. We'll
I
play
have it. I have it on my phone.
Oh, you're gonna just play it right into the mic?
Let's see if I can find it. It might take
All
a
right,
little.
keep
I'll just
looking. What's
post
the next
card for
question?
it.
We'll come back to that and play the audio if we have it. Next question. Opinions on civil forfeiture. Drunk by Noon wants to know. Well,
There's a lot to that one.
there is a lot
Talking
to
about
that
money
one.
or talking about vehicles or what?
Yeah, I mean, I guess no, you're not arrested for a crime, but your assets are taken. I'll give you my experience with that because I did. Oh man, like 2.5 years of highway interdiction. So it's a world that I spent time in, and I can tell you that at least for my training, we weren't taking civil forfeiture assets without it for sure that we were keeping that money, right? Like, and not because we wanted the money, but because this is established that there is no legitimate reason for this, and there are certain patterns that we don't even have time to do. Maybe we should do a whole show on civil asset forfeiture, but like for example, pull a car over and there's a lot of indicators that there's issues. Tansy's talked a lot about different indicators on, he would give you like a 1, 2, 3, and you would see, hey, if I've got 3 indicators, we know we've got a problem. And when it comes to highway interdiction, there was definitely trained indicators on trafficking of proceeds from illegal activity or illegal goods. Pull open the air filter. There's no air filter in there. What there was $10,000 in a Lay's chip bag. And the people saying, oh, I don't know what that is. So this isn't your chip bag? No. Okay. And then you pull out the 10,000 strap and you're like, so this isn't your $10,000 in cash? No. You don't want this money? It's not mine. I have no idea where that came from.
Well, there's the difference though. Are you saying that because if they were to say, no, that's not mine, then you take it. But what if they said it was theirs?
Well,
are you talking about like a totality of certain?
That rarely happened, but yeah, totality of circumstances for sure.
Yeah, for me, my personal opinion, it's a money grab. It's 100% a money grab.
It is a money grab,
and I don't like any of it.
It is a money grab, and I learned that sort of later on. So when you're first doing it, you think, all right, I'm doing a good thing here, right? Like I'm stopping proceeds from narcotics trafficking, from weapons trafficking, from human trafficking,
right?
All this stuff. And you're like, yeah, I'm putting a dent in this, or this is a good thing. The problem is two things. One was, I think I was making a large purchase. I think I had like $11,000 or $12,000 that I had to get out of the bank, and I was buying something or whatever. And I was thinking to myself, man, if I got stopped for this,
yeah,
they could make me fight for my money. That's mine.
For sure.
Right. And so that was one thing. And then another thing was the prosecutor's office, and this is in Wayne County, Michigan, where Detroit is. And the prosecutors were splitting the money with the department.
Right. Exactly.
So it's like, wait a second. Why is the prosecutor's office getting this civil asset money? Like, shouldn't we be using this a little bit better? And I mean, we did get some cool stuff from it, but
yeah.
I don't know.
All right, I have it. Do you want me to play it into the mic?
Play it right into the mic.
Let me see. Let me turn the volume
there's
here.
a bunch of, depends on what it is, but it's just audio.
I can't get this tire off.
Last unit.
Are we sure that it was porn and not like?
No, what if she was actually there, though?
I was gonna say, was she there or was it porn?
Oh, I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, there you go.
Wow.
There's my experience with someone. And then another guy got suspended for having feet pornography. Like he had like a foot fetish thing, and he was looking up a bunch of.
How do you get suspended for that? This is America.
He was looking at it on his work computer while working off duty.
Oh, that'll do it.
Can't have.
I should have been
can't
fired
look at
for the things
pictures
that I
of
put on
feet.
work computers.
You were, Mike. You were literally fired 3 times.
Thank God for the union. Am I right? All right.
I think this guy says Italian Stallion. Is it better to work for a sheriff's department or a police department? In your opinion, I think it's better to work for a police department because you don't have to worry about getting fired if there's a new sheriff. But I believe that there should never be a police chief. There should only be sheriffs because they're elected officials.
Provocative. I like that.
Provocative. Lastro Lopez, could either of you defeat Shrek in a fight?
No.
Dave could.
No.
I could for sure. Okay. Fuck that green guy.
If Fiona's not around, I think I could.
Yeah, she's
or do we fight him in front of Fiona and then cuck him?
I don't want to do that.
Have you guys ever seen Shrek is Love?
I bet you my wife would let me do it. I bet if I had the opportunity and I was like, "Hey, hon, Shrek wants me to watch him bang his wife. Is that cool?" She'd be like, "Yeah, I guess."
That's like your celebrity list. You're like you get to that 10, like you can write 10
hall
celebrities
pass
down. You're
Shrek is on there. Shrek's not even freaking real.
My wife would be like, "Whatever, Eric, just come home and change this diaper whenever you get a chance."
Oh my God. Oh,
opens the bathroom door. You're watching Shrek. What are you doing? Nothing.
Get out.
What is it like getting to cuddle with a trans man that also likes to skate on a ghost bed? What?
I guess we'll never know.
Is that directed at Lastro Lopez? He's the only one here that knows what it's like to sleep with Eric.
Too busy vapor locking.
He said he vapor locked himself awake last night. Oh no. Nothing. What was the weirdest thing you ever seen as a cop? You ever saw?
Dude, they got his nutsack ripped off. Missing nutsack.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Were the nuts still dangling? Weird. Just no sack, or were the nuts gone too?
So here's the whole story. It's a really cool story, but it was about 5:45 in the morning. We get off at 6 a.m. There was 6 cars lined up behind the church, and my rookie had called in sick, so I didn't have a rookie, and I hadn't taken a real call in like 8 weeks because I had a rookie. So I was sleeping in my car, and next to everybody else, and they said a call came out. It said there's a domestic violence situation going on at such and such address involving hurt genitalia. Well, everybody did the whole not it and put the finger on their nose, and I was asleep. So then somebody wailed their sirens, which made me wake up, and I look over and everybody's got their finger on their nose, and I was like, oh, fuck. So then they keyed up again. They're like, any unit for a domestic violence call at such and such area, and I was like, Riley 424, be en route, send it to me. And now I'm pissed because I was off in like 15 minutes. So I drive to the call, I knock on the door. This woman opens the door and she said, we're all good here. And she slams the door in my face. Now I'm really fucking pissed.
Should have just left. She told you it was fine.
Well, unfortunately, our policy doesn't allow that. So I knock again. She barely opens the door. I shove my foot in it. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. So I push myself in and I see this gentleman sitting on the couch and he's got a towel around his waist and he's naked and he's got his hair back. And I go, sir, are you okay? What's going on? What's underneath the towel? Lift up your fucking hands and show me what's underneath the towel. And he lifts up the towel and it was just the most horrific thing I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, oh my God, put the towel back on. Oh, and he was like, oh, come on, man. God, don't do me like that. Are they gone? Are they gone? I was like, dude, I don't fucking know. I don't know. Hold on. Just give me a second. So I get on my radio. I'm like, Riley, I need EMS 1018, which is quickly. And so they're like, right, like en route. And so I'm like, just keep pressure on it, man. You're doing a great job. He's like, man, you got to help me. You got to help me. I was like, bro, there's nothing I've been trained to do that can help whatever's going on down there. So just keep doing what you're doing. EMS is on the way. I'm like, who fucking did this to you? He's like, I don't know, man.
What did he
know?
What
and I'm
did
like,
he think you were going to do for him?
I don't
like,
know.
what was
apply pressure
like with his mouth to mouth? Hurry up. Come on, blow on it.
Here, I'm just going to back my ass into you. Hold on.
Were you bit by a snake? I got to get the poison out of that. Hold on.
So the EMS lady gets there and she's a friend of mine and she gets out of the car and she's like, is it really that bad? And I was like, no, he's being a fucking drama queen. So she walks through the door and she's like, all right, oh my God. And the guy was like, man, that's what the cops said, man. That's fucked up, man. And so he's all upset and everything. And so she's like, holy shit. So the woman, I finally, two more officers show up. And so I get the chicken. I'm like, all right, who fucking did this? And I'm looking at her nails and like everything else. She's just wearing a robe. And she was like, my ex-husband did it. And I'm like, what is your ex-husband's name? She gives me the name, which is her last name. And I'm like, perfect. What's his date of birth? Great. What's the last four of his social? Great. So go back to my car, look it up. The dude's serving a life sentence in prison. So now I'm really pissed because she's lying to me. I'm already late getting home. So I go back up to the door. I go back inside and I was like, look. And I was like, you fucking, now our kids are awake. We're trying to get ready for school and they're all freaked the fuck out. And I said, you got about 3 seconds to tell me the truth or I'm not even going to play with you. We'll just go down to the jail right now and we'll figure it out later. So like trying to bluff her. And she was like, my ex-husband did this. And I was like, your ex-husband is in jail for the rest of his life. Turn around, put your hands behind. She's like, no. I was like, no, you're not going to fucking do this. Put your hands behind. So I go, she fights. Her blouse comes off. The robe comes off. Her little titties are bouncing around everywhere. I'm fighting with her. We fall over a chair because she's like, no, I'm telling you the truth. I get her in handcuffs finally, get her back to the car. And I'm like, you think I'm that fucking stupid? You don't think I had the fucking, technology to find out? And she was like, listen, he gets out every other Saturday to go work. And I was like,
oh my God,
bullshit. And so I was like, where is he in prison at? Okay. She's like, right down there, like 5 miles that way on Rock Quarry Road. Not even 5 miles. It was like 0.5 miles. And I was like, no, that's like a maximum security prison. She's like, no, I'm talking about by the statute. That's not a maximum security. It's like a low security life sentence prison. I didn't even know that shit existed. So I call this place and I ask them and they're like, yeah, we let him out at 5:30. He's got to be at work at 7. He's working this high rise project. And I'm like, you got a dude that's got a life sentence and he gets out every other Saturday for like 6 hours. And she was like, yeah. So this woman moved from Virginia to Raleigh to be in the same vicinity to him. Well, she forgot it was the other Saturday and she's got boyfriend over at the house sleeping with her, butt naked.
Wow.
Homeboy lets himself in the house, sees this random dude in her bed. He jumps on him. Now, this is where you got to use your imagination. So he straddles the naked guy. Naked guy wakes up, doesn't know she's married, panics, rolls over onto the floor. Now, naked dude is straddling prison dude in a daisy fog, having no idea what's going on because he just got woken up, goes to stand up. While he's standing up with all of his strength and energy, prison dude reaches up and grabs the balls. So he stands up as homeboy's ripping down, fucking balls get sleeved. Completely.
God, that's quite a tug. I don't know well to describe that.
Yeah, either that or some weak skin. Maybe he's got a vitamin deficiency.
Well,
You may want to see a doctor about that.
The whole sack
Well,
was laying like a baseball glove in the bedroom.
Oh,
It was a
you
wild
didn't have a
thing.
rookie to say pick it up?
No, so the balls were just encased and in a pool of a massive amount of blood. And it was crazy. And we had the U.S. Marshals had to come and go. And we went to the high-rise site. And we asked for the guy, and he came out and he was like, "What's going on? What's going on?" I
What
was
seems
like,
to be the problem, officer?
No, don't even fucking. So this all happened.
Y'all just look like you've seen some degloved nuts.
Yeah. This all happened about 5:40ish in the morning, and we got him back into custody by 10:30. So,
and why they're releasing him 2 hours before work starts?
Yeah, because it's his
like
responsibility to get there.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Wow,
I had no idea that you could serve a life
I never
sentence
heard of such a
and
thing.
get
where,
out.
like, you're in a life sentence, but they just like let you chill on a Saturday. Go out to work.
I didn't know you could tug on a set of balls and rip them off.
Well, the balls were still
Lot we
there. It's
learned
just the
today.
skin. It's just the casing.
The fleshy wrinkle harness.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what to call
So anyway, I had to uncuff her and have like a very awkward. Yeah. So I'm sorry I didn't believe you.
Remember when I asked you if I was that stupid? Yeah,
Yeah.
about that. I'm sorry we had
That
that,
didn't
fight
age
with your
well.
titties flopping
Do I
around.
look stupid to you? Do I look fucking stupid to you, ma'am? Do I look like somebody that can be fooled or bamboozled?
Oh my
it.
gosh.
Shit.
All right, what do we got next? How have your social circles, lifestyles changed after entering as well as after leaving law enforcement? Also, do you feel you've become closer to your community or more alienated due to your experience in recent anti-police rhetoric? I imagine if it's the latter, it make going to work in a law enforcement capacity with a full heart extremely difficult. That beginning question is the one that makes the most sense to answer. How have your social circles changed becoming a cop and then now after?
Yeah, I mean, when I was a cop, I was completely alienated, which was hard for me because I like human beings, and it really, really sucks when you're a cop and everybody, all your civilian friends goes, "Oh yeah, he's a cop," or "Ooh, don't say that, he's a cop." We're like, somebody be like, "Yeah, dude, I got a little bit of weed." "Oh, shh, he's a cop." You know, like, of course you feel alienated with all your friends, and then like, yeah, it sucks, dude. That was like, for me, I never wanted to hang out with other cops because I'm a civilian at heart. I'm a good civilian. That's why I own a bar. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is for you guys. You guys probably just.
But what about leaving though? What did it feel like when you stopped being a police officer?
I still get the whole, "Oh, he's a cop." I'm like, no, I'm not. Nor did I give a shit.
You're
when
an
I was a
artist.
cop.
I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
An artiste. Yeah, I narrowed my circle for sure when I got hired, just because of the same exact thing where it was like the same old Texas Hold'em game that I would go to with buddies. You know, you have people in and out of things like that, and it's like, "Oh yeah, this is Mike. This is John. Mike's a cop." Like,
Yeah.
they didn't even tell me what John did for a living. It's just Mike's a cop. Like,
Yeah.
like, okay, well, John's an accountant, so am I going to ask him like, you know, how to do the math every bet? Because like, like what does it matter? Like, how are we identified by just our careers? But
Like for me, it was like going to church was like the hardest thing because my wife really wanted to raise our kids going to church and have like a healthy church thing. And I felt like I could never relate to any of those people at church. None of them were cops. And it's really weird, like, you know, working a night shift and having your hand disappear into somebody's stomach while you're trying to like stop their stomach from bleeding, or like working some kind of fucking crazy murder case, getting off of work 2 hours later, showing up to church, and they're like, "Are you guys ready to praise Jesus? Aren't you just so happy that Jesus is in your life? Can I get a hallelujah if Jesus is in your life?" And I'm like, "Fuck you, dude. Fuck you." Like,
it's funny
let's
that
just
you say
pray
that.
and do the things, and let me get the fuck out of here. And that was kind of my attitude. And I know they don't mean well, but it was weird, like going to Bible study or going to whatever, and all these people having like all these grandiose things. I'd be like, I was really able to share my experience with Jesus to somebody this week. How about you, Eric? Were you able to share your experience with Jesus? Yeah, actually, this fucking chick that got married like 3 days prior had her husband fucking murdered because he was running drywall at like 2:00 in the morning after hours. And these fucking thug pieces of shit came by, stole their $200 in cash and shot him in the fucking stomach, and he bled out in front of me. I said a little quick prayer with him before he fucking died. And everybody's like, oh, oh, well, do we have to use that kind of language in church, Eric? I'm like, oh, that's what you heard. But I think that's why cops, I saw somebody else in the comments say like, that's why cops only hang out with cops. And I think it is, because it's definitely weird hanging out with civilian friends who talk about their work week and then ask you about your work week. And then, I don't think people understand that cops take like 25 calls a night, like 25 calls of the worst shit that's happened to somebody at that moment in their life. Like, you don't get 25 calls, and out of those 25 calls, 5 of them are bad. No, like all 25 of them are pretty fucking bad, at least for that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, you're trying to mediate relationships. You're trying to keep people from dying. And then on top of that, you've got to worry about what, other people's feelings too. Like, you might go to work and your cop buddy might be like, dude, I just fucking saw like this dead baby and its whole neck was broken and turned all the way around 360 degrees. And you're like, fuck, are you all right? And they're like, dude, that fucking sucks, dude. And then, and then they get a call to something else. And then in your back of your mind, you're like, man, I hope maybe I should swap him on that call. I mean, like, you're dealing with other people's stresses too. So I don't think that civilians quite understand that that's what cops do every single fucking night of their life. So it's very weird for them to go and sit there and talk about, LeBron James having a, back spasm in the middle of the game.
That would have made such a good clip, but the way you look right now, it doesn't really fit the vibe.
Yeah, no matter what serious, amazing, insightful thing you say, it's paired with how you look, it's going to be tough. Dave, you were saying like you're going to say something there when Eric was talking about the church thing. You were going to bring something up.
Yeah, I think that it's a little bit different for me. So I did the job for 23 years. I worked for 5 different police departments, all the way from. Believe me, I heard so much about that, But there's certain things that happen. So I started in Detroit, and I left Detroit for greener pastures in the city of Pontiac, Michigan, which is not much better. And then I ended up getting laid off for a very short time, and then started working part-time to a place. Got hired in full-time to a university, and then stayed like a month. And then I went in to the city of Sterling Heights, and that's where I was for the remaining part of my time. So it, like, things did change a little bit for me, but like, as far as like the church thing, it's always been tough for me. And I think, as I kind of look at my problems, and I see, like, the one thing that's always bothered me about church is, like you said, when these people are full of fucking problems. I mean, these people are fucking messes. Yeah. And the first thing they're like, hey, how you doing this morning? It's so nice to see you. God is good, isn't he? And I'm just like, you fucking hate your life right now. Don't bullshit me. Like, wouldn't it be nice if, like, one time the guy was like, hey, dude, are you all right, man? Like, because you don't even know these people anyway. You know what I mean? And it always bothered me, like the door greeters. I always just wanted to just and fucking punch him in the face, man. It's always bothered me. But you're right. I mean, like, sometimes you get to a point where it was hard to talk to other people. But after 23 years, maybe it's just different for me, because, like, I feel like I grew so much in wisdom over 23 years in police work, literally only working. I worked the road the entire time until I went to DB for about 4 or 5 months. And I miss absolutely nothing about the job, nothing, except for I miss some of the friends there, and I miss them like crazy. I actually think about them all the time as I start my new security job. but I don't miss the job. I don't miss it at all. It's changed so much over 23 years that I don't miss it. And I hope to God that police officers, as the career of being a police officer has been shit on and stomped on, that it's a really tough profession to go into. Still a noble profession, but holy shit, I would never do it again, ever.
Yeah, I mean, I do miss. I mean, I only did it for 8 years, so I wasn't even like close to being burned out yet at all. Like I was in my prime. Like I felt like at 8 years, like I was in.
I'm in my prime.
I knew I was, baby. I could handle my shit.
Yeah.
I could handle civilians too. I think my hardest year of being a cop was probably my 3rd year, because you don't really know anything, but you know more than just a rookie, and it's you can't relate to anyone. You can't relate to the rookies at work, and you can't relate to the seniors at work. And definitely you're at that point in your life where you're just now starting to see like the shit you've seen is like added up. You're at like year 3, and you're like, your body count is probably like in the hundreds at that point. And you're kind of like, wow, this shit's starting to add up. But I remember my 3rd year being like, there's no way I can do this for 30 years. There's no way mentally. And then I think something like, then you become like a senior officer, and then it comes more about the rookies than it is anything else. And you kind of forget about your own feelings. You start worrying about other people's feelings.
Yeah.
And then, and I don't know past 8 years, because I didn't do past 8 years. But Sarah Kelch, she wrote, her mom walked in, saw my chest, and then walked out. That's because Sarah's sitting at her computer, and she's like, got the same thing. She's topless. She's got the same shit.
She's just recreating.
She's like trying to just mimic it. She's just doing a mirror image of Alabama.
All she's doing is going, I'm looking in the mirror right now.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I'm gonna wear his skin.
What's the song from Silence of the Lambs? Is it Wild Horses or what? What's the
Wild Horses?
Yeah. How much time do you guys spend to prep any of your shows?
Some of them a long time.
Ooh, man, the breakdowns.
Some none.
That's like that. Yeah, that's Tales of Valor flashbacks right there. Like the last 2 breakdown episodes I did, and we're like probably about 8 to 10 hours of prep before the show, and not including any of the the show itself, and then follow up after the show and engaging and all that stuff. What about you, Eric? How long you spending on show? Tonight's show is not
tonight. I didn't spend at all. I didn't spend any time on tonight's show, except coming to find out that this isn't actually our 100th episode. It's like our 101.
Okay, we're allowed to say it now. You wanted me to keep it a secret before. Turns out that I logged into iTunes tonight to look, and I saw it said, listen to all 101 episodes. And I'm like, that makes no sense. I'm like, you got the trailer, so that counts as an episode, but that doesn't really count as an episode. So take that off, and we've already got 100, but this would make 101. And I looked back, and I numbered the episodes wrong. So we have 2 episode number 47s.
Dumbass.
So it's really not the 100th episode, but it is a 100th episode celebration either way.
Thank you.
Either way.
We're celebrating 100 episodes, no matter what number this actually is.
All these fuckers are taking their money back.
Yeah, they're like, fuck this asshole. But no, it really is 100. Because Sanders' show would have been 100 today, and this would have been 101, but we're not going to count that because that's more of a trailer.
That was more of another trailer. It was an extended trailer. It wasn't really an episode.
This is Mike and I's 100th. But I mean, I think for the DC episode, I probably put in a solid fucking 10 or 15 hours. The Hunter Biden one, a solid 10 or 15 hours. The McDaniels. No, not McDaniels. That one creepy dude that like
Denny.
Huh? Denny Perkins.
Denny. Yeah, Denny Perkins.
That one I spent a lot of time on just because that affidavit, I read the whole affidavit. I read all of the polygraph shits. And then I reached out to his old partner and wasn't really able to get in touch with him, but I was able to find an interview with him from somebody else. And then I listened to that whole interview. So that one I spent a lot of time on, which sucked because that was probably the most emotional, draining one. Just because I've got 3 kids, and what those motherfuckers, like what those fucks did to those kids, dude, that I was glad when that show was over.
The conversation we had on the way to the airport afterwards.
Oh,
scary, man. Ugh.
Yeah. That was a shitty show. I mean, one of our best episodes, though. I mean, I think numbers wise, that's one of our best episodes. It's top 3 numbers wise, but definitely was hard to.
James did a super chat to ask you, Tans. He says, seeing as how my IG question didn't work, how can I come to your distillery and watch an episode live? Considering we have stronger drinks in Canada.
Well, I don't do shows from the
with a side of
distillery.
socialism.
Yeah.
Canada
You have to
Dry.
drink because of fucking Trudeau. If that was my piece of shit leader, fuck, dude. I don't know if I had to choose between Biden or Trudeau. I'd kill
It's like
myself.
beer goggles
Good
for
Lord.
women. It's like the same thing with Trudeau. You have to drink enough to where he looks like he's actually a capable leader.
Trudeau looks like the bad guy in every Spider-Man fucking magazine ever made.
You're right, he does. Holy shit.
You can go live wherever the studio is. It's just not at the distillery, but you can go to both.
Yeah, the studio's down the road from the distillery, so you can come anytime. Sarah Kell says she dreamt about me last night. Well, that happens. That's a natural. That's something natural that happens with females once they see me.
Just wait till tonight.
It was
Good
the
Lord.
dream was you and Shrek changing a tire on shift.
You're drawing on
I
each
had
other.
a dream that you were cucking Shrek's wife, and I was in the
Let me
closet
tell you
watching.
about my best friend.
Yeah.
Next question. What's our next question? For a cop with an old DUI on their record, first of all, if you're going to be a cop, you need to spell THEIR for your report writing purposes. Looking to get into a department in a different state that does not allow officers with any OUIs. Have you heard of?
It sounds like he's drinking right now. Like,
making
bro, you got
exceptions?
a fucking problem.
You need
to put the bottle down,
bro. You
Come
need to get the help you need first. Then worry about a job.
Holy shit.
I have known cops to be fired from a department for an alcohol related incident off duty anyway, and then sometime later be able to get picked up. If it was a misdemeanor charge, they get picked up by another department. I've seen that happen, not just once, probably 2 or 3 times. I have firsthand knowledge of this stuff. I'm sure that it's more than beyond my firsthand knowledge. So can you get a job after you've had a misdemeanor or had a misdemeanor even as a cop? Yes, you can. It really would depend on the circumstances and, of course, the quality of the department. I mean, there's a department around here, Highland Park. The city of Detroit has 2 cities inside the city. One is Hamtramck, one is Highland Park, and Highland Park is notorious for being the land of misfit cops. And so you get their standards for cops are just low. So it is what it is.
There's some chiefs like, I see you have an OUIL on your record. Let's see what we can do about that.
We got to pump those rookie numbers.
Have a
slowly
seat on
unbuttoning his shirt.
Have a seat on my couch. And then like 5 big, large, angry black men stand behind him.
These are my sergeants.
This is the oral board.
If you know what I mean. LMT says, what was the nastiest thing you guys ever saw during your policing career? As if the nutsack being degloved isn't enough. Also, name one time you guys got creeped out by an individual or situation. There's that could lead to some interesting stories.
The nastiest thing, I'm not going to talk about that. Also, the one who got creeped out by, those are, I've always think those are very strange questions. I don't like to.
It's hard because there's a giant Rolodex.
Dave, stop being such a pussy. Like we all get on YouTube to watch people dying for a reason.
I don't do it. I just
Faces
don't
of
do
Death
it,
was there for a reason.
Oh,
Faces
okay.
of Death.
The nastiest thing I've ever seen. I saw a 2-year-old get pinned between 2 cars, and her brain popped out, and she was stuck in between the bumpers, just standing there. I've seen.
She's not going to get ahead in life.
I got brutally raped, and a stick shoved up her vagina, and her nipples bitten off.
Oh, I thought you said you got brutally raped.
I could go on, but again,
wow.
all these, it's just all gross stuff.
You couldn't have picked like a fun one. Like you couldn't have like we all know the truth.
The
you
nastiest.
I told the story before about that
up.
guy in the underwear that disappeared, the tidy white.
I was going to say, but you want to talk about the weirdest fucking story. That's my favorite story.
I think that's still on my YouTube channel.
That story is fucking great. And you put it in your book. What book? What is that?
You can't make stuff up.
You can't. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Oh, you can't make this stuff up. Yeah.
Yeah. You had me write a piece on that. So
there is a video. It should be on the Mike the Cop YouTube channel called "Curse of the Tidy Whities." I think is what it is.
God,
I think we still have you're telling the story.
No, but you know what sucks? We cut it. off because we were trying to push Patreon. Remember we used to do that with clips?
Oh yeah,
That's
we
bunch of
did
assholes.
I know.
Too bad.
Dang it.
Such turds.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what the weirdest thing that I.
What's the nastiest thing? The grossest, nastiest thing you've ever seen?
Probably this dude that died. He had a heart attack in his garage in the middle of the summer. He's actually my favorite magistrate of all time, which is really sad because I didn't know it was him, and I didn't even know it was him until like a week after the incident. But he had a heart attack in his garage. It was like, oh, fucking 100 and something degrees, North Carolina, 100% humidity heat. Was missing for like 7 days. And there was an odor coming from the house, and somebody called and said, dude, we just pulled in this cul-de-sac. It's really bad. Bring your rookie. And nobody had been in the house yet, and you could smell it. And I was like, God bless. And we were all just like, everybody's throwing up. I put my gas mask on because I was like, I don't know. I was like hoping that would help. And there was a dude just completely melted in the garage when you pop the garage door open. I mean, unrecognizable human being, just a blob of shit with so many fucking bugs all up in it. The whole thing was moving because of the bugs, so it looked like it was still alive. It was really gross and bad. And we ruled it all out. There wasn't a murder or whatever. And it wasn't until a week later that I found out that it was literally my favorite magistrate. I'm not going to say his name out of respect, but and then I felt really bad because I just remember being like, if I'd known it was him, I think I would have dealt with the smell, and I would have probably been a lot more reverent. But I was pretty irreverent. I was like, fuck you, rookie. Get up in there, bitch. Come on, get you some of that. Get you some of that melty goods.
Judge outfit.
Get you some of that melty goods. You want to sleep good tonight, rookie?
Just for the record, you do know it's him now, and you're still being irreverent. So
here we go. Good Lord.
That's the hard AF talking.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't like. I don't attribute like the nasty stuff with like that kind of stuff anymore. Like I said, I for me, like the nasty stuff is the stuff that sticks in my brain.
Yeah, but you went for brutal. Like I'm not gonna talk about the most brutal shit I saw.
Yeah, you went to terrorizing memories.
Yeah, you went to like my dick is so soft right now. I was hard as shit. Now I'm fucking soft, dude.
Well, it's weird after those stories. No, mine's hard as shit. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, I gotta fucking somebody ask a question.
For the record, mine's been normal the whole episode.
I'm not saying it was the 2-year-old, but I'm saying it was, maybe the other one. What? I'm just saying. Can I not speak my mind here?
No.
Are we not in a circle?
No, we're not.
The circle's not here. No.
Jesus. Yeah, kick him out. Fuck this guy. Like somebody should do that. Like some cops should do that in church. When they're like, does anybody want to share? Is anything feeling like God has led you to share something today? Like, you know how they do that like once or twice a year? You just get up and you just tell that story and everybody's like,
oh,
okay. Well, does anybody have anything else?
Take up a special offering for Brother Dave.
Yeah, if anybody wants to lay hands
take his
on
family out to Cracker Barrel today.
It's like the balls. The balls.
Yeah, licking them balls.
Licking them balls.
I was out practicing oral sex with my mouth.
With my
licking
mouth.
on them balls. That was one of my favorite episodes.
That would be one of those.
What
moments.
a great clip.
Oh
my
God.
gosh. All right, another question. What lessons and tactics from policing have been useful in everyday life? This is from Dale the Korean. I like that we have
watching
a
people's hands
audience.
Constantly. Like I still watch everybody's hands. Like I still to this day, if I'm meeting somebody for the first time or they're coming into my bar, like I always watch their hands first. I look for those little indicators if they're tapping, if trying to see like, do they have a knife in their pocket? Like that's one of those tactics I don't think I'll ever go away. And then sitting with my back towards the door is one, and looking up a lot while I play on my phone. I don't know. It's like the 3 tactics. I don't know if they help me at all, but it's definitely something I still do to this day. But I still drive in the middle of the road because I'm scared of IEDs. And I'm not scared of them. It's like a subconscious thing. But like I always find myself or get called out for driving in the middle of the road.
You're talking about like with the lane in the middle of your car?
Yeah.
That kind of a thing?
Yeah, my wife hates it. She's like, you're driving in the middle of the road again. I'm like,
I think good driving is a tactic that I have in my everyday life that saves me. Someone asked in the chat too. One of the members, Reginald, says, "What's the fastest you've gotten a squad car up to?" I was definitely in the
120,
120s, 126, 128 in a Crown Vic.
Yeah,
I think it was faster in a Dodge Charger. I was a passenger though. And I was very freaking scared. I was being driven very fast by someone in a Dodge Charger, and it was a canine patrol vehicle. And I won't give any more details, and he's still on the job in case he could get in trouble. But it was very fast, and I was legitimately kind of scared. But
I think
when I was in
fine.
control, 126, 128 or something.
Yeah, like one time, one of my buddies got shot in the hip, and I drove pretty fucking fast to that. But he shot the dude in the throat, so he won.
That's good. Bonus. Next question. Brad Stockton. I have a polygraph tomorrow. If you guys can touch on that topic, I'd appreciate it. First of all, that was one day ago, and it's too late. So I hope that it went well.
The last girl he slept with was underage. Just think about that.
Poor guy.
He's like, fuck.
Polygraphs, I don't trust them. I've seen them be wrong.
They're ridiculous.
And I've seen them be wrong when someone's telling the truth, and I've seen them be wrong when I know someone told me they lied and it still showed them to be truthful. And so I don't trust them. I've talked to polygraph operators about this.
Dude, aren't polygraph operators a little pervy?
They're weird and they're weird
people.
Dude, they're all like
doctors.
They're like carnies. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
carnies are just fucking weird.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
Like that's what these dudes are like. Not like I'm fucking normal.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
did
weird.
you want to touch her? Huh? Did you want to touch
Tell
her?
me, when was the last one of my buddies had a polygraph? The first question after like state your name, is state your birth date. When was the last time you masturbated?
I love that. They're like, oh, do they ask like the weirdest
you may want to
questions?
check your bathroom in the hallway, a couple doors down.
You ever go to the truth? You ever go to the mall and like go to the the lingerie store and just kind of sit outside and watch girls change and just kind of imagine what they might look like with those thongs on and just kind of like touch your penis in public, but not till the finish, but just a little bit. You ever done that? Yes or no?
We all do a little bit, right?
Just simple yes or no is gonna do.
Yeah, no, I've never fucking done that before in my life. You ever thought about it? And then you're kind of like, well, maybe. No, it's yes or no. And you're like, oh God. Well, yes, but he's like, but before you said you didn't. So like, tell me about the part when you were at the mall looking at the secret girls. You like the thick ones or you like the real skinny ones? And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, yes or no? Yeah. Yes. There wasn't even a yes or no question, you fucking weirdo. I'm jerking off right now.
You look over, the machine's not even on.
Yeah.
He's just smiling.
He's jerking off.
I probably should have noticed that earlier.
There is no polygraph. We don't even have that for hiring.
Janitor.
Hi, I'm Frank. I'll be your new sergeant. What? This is so weird.
This is so weird. You ever seen Sarah Kelch in the chats and just kind of thought maybe like, I don't know, maybe like what
just
she
for a
smells
minute?
like.
You ever wanted
she
to
smells
snuff her
like
out
when
with a
she's
ghost
sleeping.
pillow?
She smells like honey and floral.
Yeah, you ever imagine that? I don't know. Yes or no? No, sir. I've never thought about how she smells.
You sure not
when
even
she's-
once? You ain't never done not even once?
Yeah,
Well,
what about when
maybe
she's
once,
awake?
I
Do you
guess.
think she smells different when she's awake?
Never is.
What
is
the
a-
fuck?
is
I have
pretty
no idea.
definitive. I don't know. I don't feel so pressured.
Krager's Dulesky, you ever think about if that guy fucks or not with all that money, or you think he just watched podcasts all day? Yeah, he probably fucks with that kind of money. I'd imagine. You think he ever fucks while he's watching your podcast? Oh, yes or no? That's not really a yes or no question, sir. Yes.
Objection?
Don't lie to me.
Speculation? I don't know. Next question. We're trying to get through these to honor the Wolfpack, my friends. Elijah, you want to? We got to get to the ones that people did ahead of time. Rutherford wanted to know what patrol car is the best. It's Crown Vic. End of discussion. Dead Leg Media, finding sex toys on traffic stops, par for the course. Drunks with beer muscles, also par. What's the calls or cases that have worked? That unless it was a legal document that actually went to court, you wouldn't believe it unless you were there. That's a lot of questions, so I'm going to give you your first one. Finding sex toys on a traffic stop. I pulled a guy over working interdiction. Like I said before, we had where I worked was sort of like last stop for motels before you got to like downtown Detroit. So we had a ton of drug and human trafficking through our hotels. So part of the interdiction stuff on and off the expressway was also watching cars come in and go. And you would basically park and wait for a car to zip in on the hotel parking lot, and all of a sudden you would see it about 90 seconds later pulling out. You're like, well, obviously they didn't get a room. Obviously they didn't stop and talk to anybody very long. And you would look for a reason to stop that car. Pulled one over one night. Dude is sweating bullets. I mean, the guy is so nervous. I'm like, oh man, this guy just bought dope. I'm going to find some crack. I'm going to find heroin, whatever. And finally get to the point to where we pop the trunk and it's loaded with dildos. He's just, and then he gets super defensive and mad because he thinks I'm picking on him because he's a raging homosexual. And so, yeah, I did find sex toys, and that was definitely not the only time. I mean, you see him in houses all the time.
I arrested a guy wearing a strap on that was a sleeve over his dick, and it was vibrating and it was bouncing. And so I took him to jail because he was jerking off. Well, they thought he was jerking off in the park. I don't know. He ran from me, so ended up catching him. But so I arrested him for RDO. But we got to the prison, and the way the jail works is that it's a glass door and it's an airlock, and it goes and it goes so slow as it opens, and it's loud. So everybody on the bench that's been arrested turns around to look who's coming through the airlock. So I'm just standing there. He's in front of me, and that little dildo's bouncing in his pants, and everybody's just looking. Everybody's eyes are super wide.
Great video clip with your current shirtless situation.
It was a bouncing dick sleeve that was over his wiener, and he was like, "Man, this is so disrespectful. You can't take it off me." I was like, "Bro, I'm not fucking no disrespect, but I'm not taking that off of you. I wouldn't even know how to take it off. I didn't even know they made those kinds of things. That's some kinky shit. But that's not one of them."
Listen, I would cuck Shrek, and I don't even know what that thing is.
Yeah, dude. Like, I'm not saying that I won't try it after I see it, but right now, dude, like, I don't know. I'm not gonna fucking mess with it. But that was a lot of dildos, dude. One time, I was searching a car. I was a rookie. I didn't have any gloves on, and there was a rolled up magazine in the door pocket. And I picked up the rolled up magazine, and a wet condom fell out onto my hand.
Oh,
so
I can hear that. That's terrifying.
It was a porn. I kept the porn.
Obviously.
For evidence.
Still got it.
Next question. Oh, Dave, did you
no, fuck Dave. Fuck Dave.
Well, I'm glad we all agree.
I'm sorry, I've been doing this.
He was like, yeah, one time I found a dildo on a dead baby. The fucking baby had his brains out of his dildo, just bouncing around in his
I found
brain.
a 6-month-old beaten to death with a dildo, okay?
He's about to fucking kill himself over here. He's like, oh, you want to know about the dildo I saw?
Kills himself off the show.
Remember when you offered Mike your gun?
How about that for some ratings? You want a 100 show anniversary? Let's watch Dave kill himself live.
You know what? Fuck you guys. It'd be the best show you guys ever put on. That's a monetized fucking show right there.
I'd be sad, but I'd also be pretty stoked about the highest numbers on every show that we
Dude, you blow Rogan out of the water, man.
We get to 200. We're like, what was your favorite episode? You remember that one?
Remember that time Dave killed himself on episode 100? Well, it was 101, really.
It only got 4,000 downloads, but whatever. No, for as far as the that goes, well, first of all, I can tell you both that there is not one part of a vehicle that is not a sex toy if you're brave enough. That is for sure, and I know that from experience. But no, I had a guy. We brought him up to the jail one time, and take all the stuff out of your pocket. He was arrested for whatever. It was bullshit. And that dude, he put his hand right into his pants really fast. Dude, we jumped on that dude because we didn't know. We did we miss a gun or something like that? He had a cock ring on, and he was actually taking it off. It's like, we're like, dude, what the fuck? And he like did it like he was like seriously, like he was about to draw down on us. You know what I mean?
Maybe
like, like why do you have? Pew pew.
Look at the blood. That's a second Silence of the Lambs reference this episode. So.
Dude, I arrested a stripper one time, and when we got down to the jail, she pulled a fucking gun out of her hair. And while we were filling out the paperwork, a dude behind her was like, officers. He was like, hey, officer. And I was like, be with you in a minute. He was like, hey. I was like, hey, it's for horses. He's like, hey, man. And I was like, just gonna have to wait, bud. I'm not your arresting officer. I'm writing the paper. And he's like, she's trying to pull a gun out of her hair. And I was like, and sure shit, she like looked up. She's like, I ran over there and
it was weird because it was out of her bush, man. That was weird. She looks a 70s porn star.
I slapped her in the face and the gun fell out of her weave and went slide. It was a 2-shot Derringer and it went sliding across the floor. And everybody on the benches were like, was watching it slide by. I ran and dove on it, made the news. So you can go ahead and Google that Raleigh woman with gun in her hair. It'll be the first thing that pops up.
You're talking about the 70s bush. I was in a conversation with my wife the other day.
Oh, good Lord. I don't want to know. Sherry's an angel.
She said that. She was like, I don't know. She had hair, something that looked like a 70s. We were talking about houses, and she's like, yeah, they had furniture in there that looked like it was straight out of a 70s porn. And I was like, how many 70s porns have you watched that you know the furniture?
Holy shit.
What?
What the fuck?
Oh my gosh.
Holy
Matt
crap.
McGee, super chat, bro.
Bro, I hope you're not a cop because that was like half your salary.
Wow, my sides hurt so
That's
bad
like
from
my
laughing.
monthly grocery bill.
Yeah,
Do we have
you
to have
guys
sex with
gave
him
me
now?
kidney stones. Thank God for my ghost bed, dude.
Seriously, because if we have to have sex with him, like all of us at the same time, or like I don't know how this works.
Dude, like,
bro,
With all
Matt.
the money we've gotten tonight, we should just buy a ghost bed for the studio, and we should just
do a show from it.
do a show from ghost beds.
From ghost beds. That's, listen, guys, we will do if this show stays around, we will do our 200th episode all together in the same ghost bed. Every host of every show.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Yes.
Episode 200.
I think we should take our super chats and all. I don't know what we should do with them. That's just the fucking.
We just decided what we're doing with them. We're going to make
that's the
sure we
hard
get a
AF
ghost
talking.
bed. We got to get air there.
No, prostitutes.
What? And we could kill them.
And then they'll die. There'll be blood everywhere.
Hide them under the ghost bed like that one kid did.
Yeah, like that child
Bodybuilding
killer.
prostitutes with midget bodybuilding prostitutes on chains.
Oh my God. He's on to
What?
something now.
Jimmy,
You guys, man, I could not hang with you guys all together, especially if there's alcohol involved. I would be out.
We love
say he
Ghost Bed.
stepped
They
it
have
up
been
a
a
little
loyal
bit.
sponsor with the Drinking Bros for the
Use
last
code
5
Drinking
years,
Bros.
and everyone raves about them.
DRNKIN-BROS, right? DRINKIN-BROS.
Every mattress has a 20-year warranty. Some even have 25.
Dude, I swear we've got to be keeping Ghost Bed like partly afloat.
You know,
A lot of people are buying Ghost Beds.
I
dude.
have never bought anything based on somebody reading ads.
Until
Okay,
now.
you want to hear something
Until
super funny? You want to?
Ghost
Well,
Bed.
one, we've sold a fuck ton of Rip Pack, which is cool. And I love that you guys are all sending me pictures of you brushing your teeth. It's kind of fucking weird. It's kind of fucking weird. I'm talking to you. What's his name? What is that guy? I can never remember his name. You were
Jeremy?
talking about him earlier.
Jeremy?
You didn't read his. You didn't
Rieger.
Rieger.
Yeah.
Rieger. One, you got to fucking tag Rip Pack because that's who really cares. But yes, I don't think any other show in existence sells more product than our show.
Our reviews are 90% product placement.
The sex tapes that you guys send us of y'all fucking on ghost beds, I don't need to. I mean, I like to see them. I don't need to see them. Y'all don't need to keep sending these wild sexcapades of you guys, and your hot wives getting super naked in front of me on their ghost beds and breaking them in. I know that everybody does it. It's the cool
Your new
thing
name
to
is
do.
going to be Cuck Daddy soon. It's going to be, you've gone from Skate Daddy to Alabama Daddy, C Daddy. I don't know. Yeah, buy a ghost bed, people. We love it.
Dude,
we're
you know
going
what
to do our
sucks is that we
200th
did
episode
lose
on a ghost bed.
Cardomax, but we lost Cardomax after I stopped doing Drinking Bros Sports Tailgate Legends. And Cardomax came over from that, so I don't know what happened to Cardomax.
Still like the company.
And Sean Matson, because
Love
I
Sean.
talked to him and he was a good dude.
Yeah.
I think he's maybe a fourth quarter, third quarter spender, meaning like he doesn't spend on a lot of ads until
through the whole
third
year.
or fourth quarter.
No
But I
McGurts, baby.
definitely loved Cardomax. I actually found a packet. I was on a skate trip this weekend. I found a packet in my truck, and it was like the gods had given it to me because I was hurting. There was no coffee.
Yeah.
And I was digging through my truck looking for something else, and I found a Cardomax packet, and I was like, "Oh my god, thank you."
Yeah, we love it. We love you guys. And somebody else, Eric said he got a ghost bed here. I know Sarah did. Underpaid producer did. I've done.
Oh,
Anyway,
I was gonna say this. I went to a festival not too long ago, and I was wearing one of our shirts, and I was wearing this hat. And this guy was like, "Failure to stop." And I was like, "What's up, dude?" And he was like, "I fucking bought a ghost bed last week." Not like, "Hey, Tansy."
Not like I like your show.
Yeah, not like I like your show. Not like it's crazy to meet you. Not like it's great. But then my wife said, "I don't think he knew that it was you because he probably listens and doesn't watch. So he probably thought you were just a fan." And he was like, "Yo, I brought a ghost bed from those guys because we always talk about it." She was like, "You probably should have told him that you were Tansy."
He looked and he was like, "That's not Dave. I don't care."
That show was so much better when Dave was there.
Hey, Tansy, I got a ghost bed. Did you see my review about Dave? Asshole.
Yeah. Hey, fella, to stop. Dave is fucking awesome. Cool, bro.
Next question.
Thank you.
We got how many more we got? Like 3? All right. When you and a buddy want to meet at, quote, the spot, and some asshole OA, I don't know what that means, is randomly there, do you go somewhere else or make it awkward and establish dominance? Well, I'm the big spoon. I'm dominant. I'm staying there.
Dominance every single time.
I like to just make it
everything.
Yeah. I like to make it really weird.
Yeah.
Best flavor of Bang. I've never had one, so I don't know.
Me either.
I don't know.
I hate Bang as a company. So
I don't like to do energy drinks. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I never do them, but like I feel
you act like they're drugs. I do them. I do energy drinks.
Like I've done them before, but like I do feel like I'm doing drugs. Like I feel like I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing.
Matt McGee said, "Never heard of Ghost Bed until I watched your show. Bought one soon after. Zero regrets." Nice.
Dude.
Damn, son.
I'm telling you, bro. Fucking ghost bed, dude. You guys
took
better.
me a while to buy a ghost bed because I'm like, I don't want to.
I wish Ghost Bed could just be our only sponsor.
All of the
ever.
mattresses I've had my whole adult
And
life,
Ghost Bed and Rip
have been hand-me-downs from other people.
and Euro Optics.
How often do you use fucking Rippack? They're not even sponsoring tonight's show, so fuck them.
I just used them. I almost every day this week.
Dude,
I've
I'm
used a Rippack.
obsessed with
three
using
days in.
Dude,
Yeah,
I use
it's
them
perfect.
all the time.
I got up, went to the gym, and then I had a checkup at the dentist Monday morning, and I was like, shit. I'm like, I had like water, coffee, whatever. I'm at the gym, and then I'm like, dude, I don't want to like have coffee breath on these people or whatever after I worked out. I already sweat bad enough. So I'm like, oop, what do I have in my car all the time? Rippack.
Dude, it's funny that like it's a $10, what is like $9.99 for the pack.
Get like 15 of them in there or whatever.
Yeah,
And I just
it's
had one tonight before the show
it's
started.
like such an easy purchase that I wish that they had like just a subscribe button where you just get them like full on. Except he's been sending them to me, dude. Like fucking, I just got some in the mail like a week, like 3 or 4 days ago, and I didn't even order any. So
He's a good guy, dude. Good
kudos
company.
to that guy.
I love Rippack. All right, let's get these questions done. This is a supersized freaking celebration. I'll tell you that.
Oh, dude, I'm
Cody-
having a fucking great time.
Cody Thompson, what things changed for you guys when you became cops? We kind of talked about that, like when
Death.
like when started. I changed my. He said,
What the fuck was that? Do you have an asthma attack?
Oh, don't get me started on
Can't
that.
even do that. You sound like those fat community officers like on a PT test. Like, let's go on a fun run. Like, dude, it's a 10-minute mile. Relax.
There's a guy on Cops who shows
Fuck.
up like a minute after the interview.
Yeah. God.
It gets Mike every time I have to do it, man.
"Oh my gosh,
Oh, what the fuck?
oh."
I haven't had enough fucking hard as fucks for this.
This guy says like when started in corrections. I'm assuming you mean you. I changed my signature. It went from full name to 5 letters, no spaces. No, I didn't change I didn't change anything really.
I took my wedding ring off, and it's never been on ever.
That is true. I've only recently started even wearing one again, because I was on a call one time where we had made entry into this home. The guy was wanted for rape, and we thought he could still be in the home, and the mom wasn't letting us go any further into the house and search. So we said, well, we're staying here. And we literally waited in the living room for like 2 hours talking to this rapist mom while they got a search warrant to go into the rest of the house because they thought he was there. So we're going through this whole thing. So the lady's talking to us, and I have my partner, and we both went to the academy together. So we both had like, I think I had 1 day of seniority on them because the way that they do that, like they hire one person first so that it's a clear line of seniority or whatever. And so he's talking, and she asks a question, and he's like, yeah, my wife works here at this hospital. We don't have any kids yet. And this is, and it's given all this personal information. In that moment, I did this while he was talking. I did this, and it never came on again. I'm like, I'm not telling people. I don't want people to know I have a wife. I don't want people to know I have kids. I don't want them to know shit about my personal life, where I'm from, what I do. My job is my job. That's it. And
yeah,
I'm not wearing that, and I didn't want to get my finger degloved like that nutsack.
Right. I was scared of that, and they didn't have like the fucking halo rings yet. But then they did get the halo rings because my mother-in-law had a really big problem that I wasn't wearing a wedding ring. So she bought like a package of halo rings for Christmas or whatever. And I put one back on, and my wife was like, dude, I liked it so much better when you didn't have a ring because you were so convicted and you told everybody like right off the bat that you were married. And it was always so cute. And so I was like, really? She's like, yeah, don't fucking wear that thing. And so I fucking took it off. And still to this day, like it's the first, like if any female is talking to me, like I'm over paranoid about it. I'm always like, yeah, I have a really great wife. She's really pretty. She puts out a lot. So super happy.
That's what she would tell you.
Of
course.
That marriage.
Well, that's why you took your shirt off tonight. It took her in the comments saying she
did.
shouldn't have to pay for
actually
it.
did.
She wants you shirtless. So,
dude, I've been wearing my ring. I've never taken it off ever. Jiu-jitsu, police
Dead
work, never
babies.
got it off. Army, all the blood and the gore, the death.
He took this ring and he shoved it up his ass.
What? This ring has had the blood of a fucking 2-year-old on it. Till you know that feeling and that pain, you'll never take your ring off again. Like,
some church worship,
I'd rather
guys.
lose my.
like you need to listen to Last Call of the
I
Day.
lift your name on high.
Yeah. Why is it that you can't go to church and people just be like, morning? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, why
like
is it
how
gotta be
we really
so
mean it.
extra? Like, what is it gotta be like so extra? Like, you know, like Dave
Like
said,
Ned
you know, like,
Flanders.
it's, you know, like with like the shaking of the hand, like, oh my God, it's so great. Oh, the kids look so beautiful today. And you're like, fuck off, Dave.
Yeah,
Fuck
it's
off.
the
Let me get
worst.
to my pew. Let's get
Yeah.
this shit done.
I don't even know your name. Why are we like? It's
One of the
so
funniest
weird
things
to
is
me.
seeing families drag children out of the minivan, and like they are so chaotic, but as soon as they get in the church, it's like order. It's completely
So,
different.
You just
Our
wait till we
church-
get home, you bitch.
Yeah,
Hey,
you
brother,
fucker,
how are ya?
I'm gonna fucking murder you
How
when
about
we
this
get
church
home.
coffee, huh?
So,
They got donuts this
Hey, I
morning?
think the coffee's fair trade. That's good, huh?
So we went to church one Sunday, and the way the church we used to go to, they went all like BLM and fucking full retard. So I had to quit going. But we went, and the way that the church works were that
Your church should never go full retard.
they went full fucking retard. They're like sending out emails about how like we need more diversity. I was like, this is a church that has 100% white people. I didn't choose it to be 100% white people, but somehow over the lineage of your church, only white fucking people come. And now you want me to feel guilty about that?
And
like
now-
that's
now
not
it's
my
a problem.
fucking fault. Like one, I'm not even sure
Spent
there's
years building this racist institution. Now you gonna blame me?
you fucking assholes. Like make me feel bad for it. It's not my fucking fault. I don't run the fucking church. I don't send out the Evites or however you get people to come to this motherfucker. But anyway, the way it works is like these 10 people. 10 minutes, like you go to church, you bring your kids into the church with you for like that first 10 minutes, and then they fuck them right off to like children's church. But for that first 10 minutes, they do a couple of songs, they do a couple of weird things. Then they bring them up to the stage and read them like a 2-minute children's sermon, and then they kick them off to children's church. So this one dumb bitch brings all the kids up there. It was her turn or whatever. She gets up there and reads a little fucking story, and she's like, "Okay, kids, so what are some things that we could say that are nice that make Jesus happy?" And this one little girl, she's like, "I love you." And everybody in the church is like, "Oh." And the girl's like, "Yes, that is very nice. What else?" And another girl was like, "Thank you." And she's like, "Yes. Oh my gosh, it is so important. And we just so often go through and forget to thank people. Thankfulness is a great, great thing to say that is very kind and makes Jesus happy." Now, what are some things that I'm thinking, oh, surely she's not. She goes, "What are some things that we could say that aren't very nice that might not make Jesus very happy?" My oldest son goes, "Shut up, stupid, jerk, idiot." And he's like, "Oh," like trying to calm him down. And my wife's like burying her head. And I'm like, who's fucking,
I'm gonna beat your ass, woman.
whose fucking kid is that? I'm like, that kid's out of control. But he was like, "Shut up, stupid, jerk, idiot." She's like, okay. And he's looking at me. He's like, "Dad, I fucking got it, Dad.
I know what makes Jesus mad, Dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doyle rules.
Fuck, shit, balls, cock. I'm like, you go,
Take your shirt off,
son.
Dad.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh my
get
gosh.
some
Next
ice cream,
question.
son.
How many? Oh my God. What was your favorite druggie encounter? What?
Oh, I had a dude that he was blind, legally blind. And he had a huge, like not huge, but like huge for in your sock amount of weed. Probably like the size of a baseball, like probably a good solid ounce in his sock. And so he was wearing like, I don't know, pumps or something, untied. And so I'm searching him or whatever. I tell him to step out of his shoe, and he's like, man, I can't take off my shoes. I got diabetes. And I was like,
Diabetes.
your shoes got to come off, homeboy. And there was like a big bulge in his sock. And I was like, what is that bulge in his sock? He's like, it's my diabetes.
It's a glitter.
And I take it off, and it's like this little ounce of weed. And he's like, these aren't my socks. I was like, okay. That's probably my weirdest druggy moment.
Dude, I have so many druggy moments. I don't know. That's
just the one
endless,
that comes to mind.
really.
I
There's-
don't know, man.
that's
Druggies,
ridiculous.
dude. I dealt with I don't know. I dealt with drug situations all the time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Why you got there was one guy that kept asking me from the jail. You said it earlier when the guy with the nutsack cut off was like, oh man, why you gotta do me like that? I had a crackhead dude. I arrested him like for a third time, and he was pissing me off when I was locking him up in like our little, a jail. We would hold them for like 72 hours before they went to county or whatever. And he was like, can I get a hot pocket? I'm like, no, fuck you, man. And he's like, why you gotta do me like that, man? Because I wouldn't give him a hot pocket.
You know, you
Gonna get a
arrested
hot pocket.
one of the kids that I went to school with.
Really?
Yes, and he told me about it.
Was I nice?
No, he told me
Big spoon.
He
Your
Arrested.
dad's a cunt.
when you took him down, you hit his balls with your
Oh, yeah. I remember
Yes.
that because we found those kids. They were hiding in tall grass. And when I found them, I seen them ahead of time and they didn't see us. And me and Eric, dude, we pounced on those two kids. Like we took one each. Like we had all the time in the world to come off the top rope. And I
Dude,
smashed that
and
kid.
we were just in gym class, and you had started doing your social media stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, so your dad's a cop, right? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, he kneed me in the balls the other night. He arrested me and my friend. And I was like, so and this guy's like way bigger than me. And I'm like, sorry about
You're
that.
like, let me see your hands. Let me see your hands. Back up. Back up.
Yeah, they took
Back
off
up,
running from
back
us.
up.
They were in somebody's yard or something, and they took off running. So we chased them, and then they tried to hide, and we found them. Yeah, good times. There was no drugs involved, though.
Dude, my favorite drug one was I was working in Detroit, and we got called to a McDonald's for an overdose, and I get there, and the guy was dead, and I knew him.
Oh, geez.
See how that's funny, right? Is this thing on? Is this mic working?
Was he holding a dead baby?
God.
The baby's crying.
And so that was the fourth time I killed myself
So
on duty.
I was working. I rarely worked off duty, and it's not a druggie, but it's kind of funny on the drugstore. But I had to work off duty one night, and I was working at a David Allen Coe concert, which was full of dumb fucking rednecks. And I had never arrested anybody, dude. I worked Wu-Tang, I worked Snoop Dogg, never arrested anybody off duty. Working David Allen Coe, and this guy gets kicked out. And so I tell him he has to leave, and he's like, states rats, motherfucker. And I was like, sure, cool, bud, you can't come back. And he was like, states rats. And I was like, you got it, hit the road. So he leaves, he gets up underneath all the cars that were parallel parked, like in downtown, and he starts crawling up through the cars. Somebody notices him, and they like come over and they're like, hey, officer, there's some guy like crawling up underneath the cars up and down the road. I was like, what? And I was thinking like catalytic converters. But I was like, that's weird. Like, that's pretty ballsy to be cutting that off in the middle of a car. So I go out there with my flashlight, and he's like, his little eyes wide up. He's in the car, and he was like, states rats, motherfucker. I was like, dude, what are you doing? He was like, I'm trying to get back into the show. And I was like, not gonna happen. Get out of here, dude. Like,
I
you know,
army
hammer
crawling
drunk.
under vehicles. That's awesome.
Like he's trying to climb up like past the line, like to get in. So I get him out. Well, like 2 or 3 hours go by. It's the end of the show. This old woman, like 80 years old, comes over. She's like, there's a man trying to steal my car. And we're like on the fringe of the ghetto. So I'm like, oh, homeless guy trying to steal a minivan. She's like, but my sister is still in it. Now this bitch is like 90. So like, I'm like, oh shit. So I take off running. I get to the van. I see somebody in the thing. I try to open the door. It's locked. So I run around. I grab it was just a one-sided van door. So I run around the other side and the sliding door opens and I jump in. I see the scared lady in the very back seat. It's like 3 old men outside. And he's trying to he's like, get out, yelling at her or whatever. And I get out of there and it's him. And he looks at me and he's like, states rights, motherfucker. And I was like, what are you fucking doing? I'm in the van. I'm in the back seat of the van. I'm sitting in the back seat of this van. I'm like, what are you fucking doing, dude? And he was like, states rights. And he was like, they don't have the right. This was my Uber. And I was like, dude, this is their van. Like, this is like breaking and entering, and you're trying to steal a fucking van, dude. And he was like, no, this is an Uber. And I was like, no, it's not. It's this person's van, and you are breaking and entering it. Get out. And he's like, I'm going to get out, but don't you fucking touch me. And I was like, fair enough. Just get out of the fucking car.
Right.
So he gets out of the car. I walk around to the driver's side, and I put my arm on. I was like, come on over here, because I'm going to definitely get his name and shit. I'm not going to arrest him. But it'll make it look like I'm going to arrest him so the old people will fuck off and think I did a good deed for the night. I put my hand on him. Well, dude, he fucking shoves me. And I almost fall, blacked out from there, hit him in the face. He goes down the ground. I fucking start decking him like in the face, like fucking
States rights, states rights.
Yeah. I'm like, states rights, motherfucker. And to the point where this old man goes, all right, that's enough. And I was like, I looked up at him. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. So I get up off him and I was like, come on, dickhead. And so I call on the radio. I need a unit because I didn't have a cop car. So a cop comes over and now I got to fucking take this guy to fucking jail. I'm going to be super late. Oh, it's awful. So I'm typing it out and he's in the back seat and he was like, you fucking faggot. I said, why don't you come back here and suck my dick, bitch? Why don't you come over here and fucking bend over and let me put it in your ass, you little faggot? And I was like, bro, you're technically flirting with me. You should probably be quiet. You have the right to remain silent. I suggest that you use those rights because you're being recorded. He's like, yeah, I bet you'd like to be recorded, wouldn't you? Fucking. You know, and he just keeps going and going and going. He's like, he's doing the Mike Tyson, like, I'll fuck you till you love me, bitch. Like doing those things. So I take him to jail. Like 2 years go by, two or 3 years go by. I end up sitting in court and they're like, hey, Eric, you got a trial today at 1. I was like, what? No. I'm going home. I have night shift tonight. And they're like, no, you got a trial at 1. I was like, for what? And they're like, a drunken disorderly. I was like, nah, fucking joke's on you, bitch. I've never charged somebody with drunken disorderly because I would be a huge hypocrite. And they were like, no, you've got a drunken disorderly tonight to this afternoon. And I was like, that's fucking crazy, dude. I've never arrested someone. So then they give me the little affidavit or whatever that I wrote. And I was like, oh shit, I forgot about this dude. Why are they not taking a plea deal? And why are they going to trial? And he's like, he's saying that he wasn't drunk.
Because of states rats.
And I was like, cool. Well, I've got this whole thing on video and I actually fucking saved it. And I knew, like, I saved it because I wanted to be able to have access to it forever to show everybody else, like, how fucking weird this guy was about saying how he wanted me to suck his dick and all this weird shit. So we break for lunch. And as we're coming back, I tell his guy for the Discovery, I was like, yeah, I've got a DVD I'd like to put into Discovery. And they're like, Your Honor, can we approach? He's like, we weren't aware that there was any evidence. I was like, well, you never asked. And I was like, but I have this tape and I got it during my lunch break. So he asked if they could watch it in the judge chambers, you know, privately before we go forward, because I didn't disclose the evidence. So we go back in the back room and watch it. And he was like, why don't you come back here and take your little pants off your little shiny white ass and sit on this big fucking dick. And like the attorney was like, and the dude's dad was like, oh my God.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah. And so they fucking,
that's what I'm looking for.
They pled guilty. They pled guilty right there. It was the best though. Because I was like, no, it gets better.
No. Don't turn it off.
I was like, hold on. This is the part where he tells me to come back there and lick his dick and lick the head, wrap your tongue around it over and over again.
Oddly specific.
He was getting great at it. I was like, bro, you're You're flirting with me. It's getting real weird.
United We Stand gave a super chat. Thank you. What's the most handy capable person you had to fight? Handy capable. So they're handicapped, but they're capable of fighting.
I dumped a dude out of his wheelchair and told him to walk because I thought he was faking it. He won.
Yeah, I think
This one's easy for me. I fought Mike a lot of times out the Warrior Way. That was a very, very simple.
We have done a lot of jujitsu, and I am very handy capable when it comes to that.
Very simple answer on that one.
Oh my gosh. Last question yet, or what? Where are we at here? We gotta. Oh my gosh. Why is Ghostbed so comfortable, and why is Mike so jacked and Transy so fat?
Hey, James, fuck you. Kill yourself.
Why don't you pull a Dave and end it?
Yeah. Why don't you finish it, brother?
Why don't you make like Elijah and fucking kill yourself slowly, bitch?
With a debilitating stomach problem and COVID asthma. Die like Elijah.
I end up having to go to
stuck on the
court. And that's
toilet
the
for a
only
while.
clip they play. They're like, did you or did you not tell James 6969 to kill himself slowly? And I'm like, well, and they're like, yes or no, Mr. Tansy. And I'm like, fuck.
This whole show's satire.
Yeah.
This whole show is
That's right.
satire.
Do not take anything we say seriously. It's all made up. Okay. Last question.
Sorry, I almost sprayed water on the soundboard.
Have you ever thought you were on duty when you weren't? For example, you're driving in your own car, you see someone speeding, go to turn on the lights and realize, oh wait, I'm not on duty. That
No.
definitely happened to me before because I was
Really?
never a traffic cop guy, right? Like I didn't really mess with. I didn't go out in the hopes to ever pull anybody over for any traffic violations. Like that wasn't what I wanted to do on shift, right? So when I did pull people over, my partner would always be like, and he'd be like, oh, so this is happening. He would say that all the time. Like he wouldn't even see it coming. He's like, the lights are flickering. He's like, oh, great. So this is happening. So if I did that, the chances of you getting a ticket was near 100% because I didn't just pull over people just for traffic violations. So I always would I would have to see somebody do something so stupid that I'm like, okay, no. That person should not have a driver's license. And I would flick the lights on. And I did that exact same thing, in my own car. I'd see some driving home from work. You'd be like, oh, okay, that's it. And I'm like, oh shit, all I'm doing is changing the radio station now. That's all I got.
I would reach for the spotlight all the time, but that's at night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What
At
did you
night?
do?
Reach for the spotlight.
Oh,
When
like
I'm
put your hand
driving,
out and
yeah.
like try to hit him with that spotlight.
Yeah, like I'd reach out for it. I'm like, okay, dumbass.
Oh.
To the eternal abyss. The darkness.
I would shine a spotlight on the depth of the
We
darkness
need
of my
to-
soul.
We need
Yeah.
to do a parody of Batman, like a Batman trailer with Dave, and it's like the Nirvana song.
No, we should do a parody with Dave. This should be a short that you guys do together.
Something
where it's like-
the way I saw a child.
Like it would be awesome if y'all did a short with Dave where it's like, hey Dave, welcome to charcuterie night at the Johnson's house. How are you doing? You ever seen a dead baby with his brains all over the floor? But I have. It reminds me of this cherry strawberry goat milk cheese that you have on the charcuterie board. Look just like it.
eat jam. Take that off the plate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which coincidentally is why I don't have a ghost bed. I sleep in a coffin.
Penguin.
I can't wait to get pulled over tonight. Yeah, no,
Oh my
somebody said
gosh.
DUI and traffic stops equal too much paperwork. That's why I always threw keys way out into the woods.
Oh
Way
yeah,
out
I've
into the
done
abyss.
the key chuck. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah,
Making sure that
you'll-
they don't drive. That was
We'd always say, hey, Chuck gonna bring you home? And they're like, what? We're like, Chuck gonna drive you home? They're like, I don't know a Chuck. And you're like, you do now. Then you chuck them fucking keys out in the woods. Chuck's got your keys, bud. They're like, oh, I get it. Fuck.
I get it.
we
Chuck's got my keys. Good one, cop. Good one, officer.
one time I let somebody, I didn't chuck the keys, and this is why I always went back to chucking the keys. I didn't chuck it one night, and I'm like, hey, I actually talked to someone on the phone for this person, right? They're on the side of the road. I'm like, listen, can I pull your car right over here, right? I completely out of the way, pull it over, and then it's like, I talk to someone on the phone, like you're coming to get this person, right? Like I'm 15 minutes away. I'm on the way. Like I'll come get him. I'm like, all right. So we're like, all right, listen, wait in the car. Do not drive this car. Wait here on the sidewalk. Don't do anything with this vehicle. Wait for your ride. They're on the way. Okay, cool. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Blah, blah, blah. I love you. And then so we pull around and wait on the other side of the road. No sooner than we pull around, they get right back in the car. It fires back up. And so we loop back around and like turn the lights on, step on out. And like, hey, man. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Like I told you. It literally
would have been so easy.
Like, all right, get out of the car, man. I guess we're gonna do this the long and arduous way, which I hate, but let's do it.
Ever. God, why couldn't that paperwork have been simpler? You know what I mean?
Like, why is it easier to charge somebody for murder than a DUI?
There is literally less paperwork involved in arresting someone for homicide.
And time spent. Good Lord. It's the worst.
It's
yes,
nuts.
I did chuck a murder suspect's keys. I pulled the car over. I don't know if I told that story, but I thought I did. Yeah. I chucked the dude's keys and he ended up getting a foot chase minutes later with the sheriff's department. And they were like, yeah, the car was stolen and he's wanted for murder in South Carolina. And they were like, Tizzy, didn't you just get out with that guy? And I was like,
no.
What, that guy? I don't think it was him.
Dunkin' Donuts on Capitol Boulevard. It's giving free donuts. It's 2 a.m. Let's go. This has been great, man. Thank you guys for celebrating 100. Boy, am I embarrassed. This is what 100. I was a real serious business owner, owned a distillery, was a stand-up guy in his community, and
now look at you, Alabama Transi coming out.
Now I look like what's his name, Scott Rogers.
Wolfpack. You represent the presidency of the Wolfpack well. We would stick around and answer more questions, but Dave's security gig is really he's got to be there early. And
Sarah Kelch says, "Don't ever erase my name off your chest Transy, or else I'll return my ghost bed." My wife's gonna be like scratching your name tonight. Rodney,
good Lord,
running her hands down Craig. He's gonna go straight from Sarah down to Craig, down to Ruben, and all the Reginald. He's just right down here to Nooners.
I just think it's really
Billy.
cool.
The more south you go,
till you're pulling a gun. Till you're pulling a gun out.
She starts sucking on LeVar's name. Give me a little hickey right over here.
Dude, LeVar Burton is as a member of our YouTube community. It's amazing.
Sarah Kelch's mom walks in the room while it's all going on.
I feel like he's trying to move in as the what do you call it? What Joyce's job is, the
diversity team.
Diversity team, yeah.
Yeah, to ensure diversity.
My wife starts screaming Lazaro Lopez's name. Hydro Man Blue.
He's a blind black man, so blind gay black man.
I hope my name just gets a kiss goodnight, actually.
He's like, dude, I paid you enough to like leave me out of this fucking weird shit.
Yeah, in all seriousness, guys, everybody that ever watches this, that has listened to the show, that has shared it, that has commented, that has rated, that has reviewed, that has joined the membership, that has gotten a t-shirt, that has just told someone about the show, and especially even tonight, my gosh, the super chats that you guys tossed. Thank you. We are so glad to be on the ride with you on this podcast. We don't know what the future holds except for episode 200 on a ghost bed, all of us in person. Wow, that's going to be interesting, but it's going to happen. We're going to make it happen. All right.
I don't know. Maybe we'll fly a couple of you fucking losers in. You can watch it live.
Yeah, we got to go on a morality tour. As soon as the network gives us the raise,
morality tour. A morale tour.
Dave's not coming on that.
Morality tour. We're gonna go around and tell you about Jesus. Hey guys, welcome. Have you heard the light of God come into your life? Do you ever just walk in and see a dead baby with his brains blown out and just think hallelujah?
Talk to you about the eternal abyss.
Stop, Sarah. Come on,
Sarah.
Dude, thank you. Jeez,
man.
I'm starting
Sarah,
to feel bad.
You're not gonna afford your fucking car payment tomorrow.
She'll be upset that
she calls us back. She's like, "Yo,
guys, it's no big deal. I use my mom's debit card."
She's like, "Guys, listen, my YouTube channel's not doing that great. Can you guys fucking send that $99 back?"
Just did it for the cloud.
I just
this
did
is
it
so much better than my AA meeting, says Deadleg Media.
Don't be a quitter, Deadleg.
He was about ready to get his 18-month token, and he chose to come to the show tonight instead.
Fuck that token, bro.
Oh my gosh! All right, we got to shut up and get out of here, man. I'm tired. All right.
Boy, I'm
love you
tuckered
guys.
out.
The
I gotta go take a
Wolfpack is the
shower.
best. This is the
Or
greatest
not.
show in the universe. We love you, and we will see you for last call on Thursday.